Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Lillington, North Carolina, riding for TSCZ Productions, number 11, Luke Sullivan. From Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, riding for Team Yogi, number 3, Logan Leitzel. From France, riding for TSCZ Productions, number 22, Nathan Prin. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for District Designs, number 24, Colby Eaglin. From Tampa, Florida, riding for JIBR.co, 2021 MX Simulator National Champion, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard. Number 12, Braden Castellaneta. From Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard. Number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From Scottsdale, Arizona, riding for District Designs, 2022 MX Simulator National Champion, number 51, Payson Johnson.
That's the stupid truth. I slap a booty red, attach it to a bed, then I use and loose. Cruise ahead, patty banger through the roof and do a doggy till I get charged with animal abuse. Alive and living, I've been a hard-headed victim ever since I saw death in the car. Recollection from bars, reckless drinking from hard. Sex with women and getting tatted like a walking, talking art exhibition. Listen, I just want the amazing life that Jay-Z has who plays Mercedes Jags. Ladies banging me to lazy jazz, but rap is tough, I have to hustle like a crazy ass. The most underrated is what you could rate me as. I'll take these jabs, you'll make me bleed, but you won't make me spaz. I'll wait and choke you like on a face and make the ass. My dad passed before we got the 41. That's when I knew no one's important or immortal, son. We're all just drums, me, I'm only in it for the fun. I came to spray the audience with champagne and water guns. And when I go, I pray to God my friends pour me some gin on my grave like my name was Jim Morrison.
From France, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, 2018 Supercross Champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc.
Rewind it.
To win the Anaheim opener in 2000. Braden Carter's going to win tonight in Anaheim. Through to win the Seattle Supercross
2022 Supercross champion.
from Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard.
your two-time defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 3 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship live here on Start Your Systems, Init Esports on Twitch and ESTV. My name is Kellen Brower, and I'm joined again this week by Andrew Wood as we bring you guys the action from the third round of this series tonight in San Diego. It was a wild weekend last weekend in Oakland when we saw Payson Johnson finally break through for his first win of the year, and looks like he might actually get in and challenge with these guys a little bit as well. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens tonight in San Diego. Andrew, what are your takeaways from Oakland that we're looking forward to seeing change up tonight here in San Diego?
I'm really interested to see the difference in the 450 class. We had a little bit of switch up in our top 5, so it's going to be interesting to see who can start to lay down consistency as we move on into round 3 here. See if we can see some consistent guys up there.
We do have a little bit of news to share. There is actually a bit of a change in this 250 West division. Your reigning 250 West champion, Luke Magnetti, who won last week in Oakland, informed me today that unfortunately he is having computer issues and will not be able to race tonight. So that takes him out of the championship fight. He kind of already explained to us as well that he might not be able to make all the rounds anyway, but now he definitely will not be racing tonight in San Diego, which is unfortunate. That's opening up the door of opportunity for a fresh face to jump in and maybe claim this title.
Yeah, it was really going to be interesting. After missing the main event at round 1 and then coming out and winning at round 2, he moved himself up to 8th in points and kind of solidified himself as a contender, as a championship contender. But to see that he's not going to be making the races anymore, it's going to be kind of interesting to see which one of these guys can pull ahead and kind of make this championship their own.
Well, we're first going to start off by talking about qualifying tonight. These guys had an hour on this track already, and we're looking at qualifying times on the screen right now as we pull it up to our live screen. And no surprise here, Andrew, Payson Johnson's fastest qualifier again this week, and by 0.7 of a second over the defending champion, Braden Carter. Tyler Lang, second last week in Oakland. He's also in the mix. Eaglin and Leclerc. I mean, this is pretty much your staple top 5 in this 450 class. I don't think anybody else is going to be challenging those, Johnson, Carter, and Leclerc for a win, though. What do you think?
Yeah, we saw last week that Johnson and Carter, their speed was just kind of unmatched. So not really surprised to see Payson up there, but a little bit surprised to see Leclerc that far down. You don't normally see him in qualifying. He's normally a hot lap hero kind of. So to see him 1.1 seconds off the lead, it's kind of a little bit interesting. We're going to see how he can pull that together for the race, but we're starting to see Johnson, Carter, and Leclerc kind of and Lang especially try to keep themselves up there, and they're kind of trying to take over this championship.
Yeah, times are pretty close behind that. You can see a lot of 1 flats there in the mix. I mean, Colby Eaglin dead on the 1 flat in P4, left 0 to chance there, almost got into the 59s with everybody else. Let's jump over and take a look at our 250 West division, and surprise, surprise, we see the Polish rider Max Chwalik go fastest tonight on a 101.156. Jack Gatlin only 0.4 behind him. Tharp and our championship leader Seth Shirley also right up there towards the front. And then Jet Holyhead, who almost won last week, ends up inside of the top 5. Of course, as we mentioned with Magnetti not here tonight, it's blown wide open, this 250 class. I think these guys are going to be hungry.
Yeah, these guys just really need to focus on their inconsistency, and we see Chwalik jumping up to the top time there, and he kind of wasn't really that much in it last week, so it's going to be interesting if he's just really gelling with this track, if he can pull something out. And with how inconsistent they've been, it's kind of anyone's championship at the moment, so we're going to have to see what happens here and see which one of these guys can stay consistent.
Yeah, in terms of that championship, as we'll go ahead and take a look at our championship standings in that 250 West division, Seth Shirley, after winning the opening round, able to retain the championship lead after a good result in Oakland last week. He has got 4 points on Johnny Padani. Jet Holyhead with that second place in Oakland, only 7 points down. Vanderbeek, McIntosh, you see a little bit of a drop-off there after the top three, but any one of these guys still could turn it around if they win tonight, right back in that championship hunt like you mentioned.
Yeah, Shirley and Holyhead, I feel like, are the guys. I was a little bit disappointed in Padani last week, but he didn't end up losing that many points, which kind of sounds crazy to see him in second still there. But Shirley is definitely trying to take control of this thing early. He's been the most consistent guy out of all of them. And if he repeats that tonight, it's going to be a problem for these guys.
Absolutely. All right, looking at our 450 standings before we jump in for 250 heat number one, I should say. And of course, it is reigning champion, two-time champ, Braden Carter, still at the top of the sheets after last week's result. Payson Johnson with the 8th at the opener, wins the second round, gets right back into this championship hunt. But Carter and Leclerc only separated by 1 point after 2 rounds. I think that's what everybody's looking to see.
Yeah, every weekend we come into this, it's going to be Carter and Leclerc battling. Johnson's right there behind them, and I think that top 3 is going to be very similar to the top 3 we see for the rest of the season. We just got to see which one of these guys can start kind of hammering down and dropping those wins.
Absolutely. Well, it is an interesting track tonight. Here's a little bit of an overhead view. We're going to go ahead and pull up the game so we can take a look for ourselves in game of what this looks like. But San Diego, first time that we're going to be in a new stadium for San Diego, so it's not like a typical baseball stadium track that we've had for the last 7 or so years in San Diego. It is a football stadium track. So a long start straight into that left-hand 180 U-turn. And I think tonight, Andrew, that it's going to be kind of critical to get through that first turn clean with that jump out of the first turn off of the backside of that berm into a rhythm section. Those guys are going to be doing a rhythm line that they basically won't be doing any other lap after that. So it's going to be really interesting to see who can get through that corner clean and still do a pretty solid rhythm line after that to maybe get away early.
Yeah, honestly, they're pretty tricky, and I feel like a lot of people don't practice them as much because you're only hitting it the first lap every time you go out there and practice. So people who are really comfortable with that, and then also getting a great start and just getting yourself ahead, not having to kind of deal with traffic and roll in and try to switch up your rhythm. If you get a top 3 start and you can execute that first rhythm, you're really going to pull yourself away from the rest of the field and give yourself a good start. Well,
we are just about to get underway here in just a few moments. 250 West heat number 1 will be going up first. Of course, this is round 3 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship. If you're interested in this game at all, be sure to register at initesports.gg, or you can also do so at racefactorygaming.com. That is initesports.gg and racefactorygaming.com if you're interested in registering. This year, Init has implemented a verification system for everyone that wants to get scored in the championships, and full explanation is available on the Init Esports website. Any further questions, please direct them to Init or Race Factory Discord channels. I'm having a little problem with my reshade, so I'm just going to go ahead and refresh that and make sure we're good. And we are just about ready to go racing here in 250 West heat number 1, seeing who is all out there tonight on the gate. Also want to give one quick shout out before we race tonight. We do have a few special guests in the studio. I don't assume that they're going to be on the microphone tonight, but Jason Wygant, Racer X, NBC, so many different things that Jason Wygant does. He is also in studio watching tonight, and his son Lane is here as well, so we're very happy to have them here. And we're just going to say something.
Yeah!
He's excited.
This is true. The only reason Kellen has a job at Racer X is because my son watched us Start Your Systems and said, you need to hire this guy. He's awesome. And my son was about 5 when he said that.
All right, so it's great to have both of them here tonight. Of course, myself and Andrew Wood are going to take you guys through all of the action here as 250 West heat number 1 gets ready to go here in just a few moments. I'm going to pull up real quick the moto names so you guys can tell which race that we are on. So just hold tight with me for 1 second. Okay. And I think we are dialed. Perfect. All right. Loaded back in. That 30 card is up. These guys are going 6 minutes plus a lap. The top 9 transfer to the main event. As that 30 card goes sideways, who's going to get that all-important hole shot, but who's going to go through to the main event? Let's drop the gate in San Diego.
See, we see that Seth Shirley red plate number 44 on the inside there. We got another Yamaha with a great start right in front of him and a huge cartwheel going down the straightaway.
Yeah, a couple guys going down, and Shirley actually tucked the front end going into the first corner. He was down as well. It was Rogan McIntosh who grabbed the whole shot, but he's going to quickly lose that lead to Tyler Shields. So Shields goes to the front. Look at McIntosh tripling over, and already starting to see these 250 guys struggling with that 250, or the three out of the corner, I should say, as the rider in third went up and over the bars. But McIntosh grabbed the whole shot. Now he's got the early lead once again, has Tyler Shields right behind him, and we're going to have to figure out, looks like Shirley's down in 14th for our championship leader, so he has some work to do.
Yeah, McIntosh actually had not the best rhythm straight off the start that we thought was going to be a big difference maker, but that long rhythm section, there's a lot of time to be made or gained there. So as we see these guys come through the whoops for the first time,
they're both going down, and somehow Shields is going to stay on the machine. He runs into McIntosh as he gets going sideways and gets into a few other riders. It's absolutely chaotic out here in this 250 West heat race, and that is already showing us how treacherous these whoops here tonight might be. I knew that they were going to be built big this week. Didn't expect them to be built this big, but the 250 leaders could not quite get through it, and it's caused some problems as Millie Soderblom now goes to the race lead. Remember, Soderblom won his heat race last week in Oakland, but then got lapped in the main event, so he's looking to rebound this time, maybe get another heat win and carry that into the main event, maybe challenge for the win here tonight. And he's got everyone's favorite YouTuber, Cade Matherly, right behind him on the 25. Matherly with some fresh skins tonight as well. Just got them right before the stream started. He might be going to the lead as Soderblom was off the side of the track, and Matherly makes the pass into P1. So battle for the lead as these guys throw it off the Supercross triple. We'll see where our championship leader is. I think he was able to get through some of that chaos, but a nice pass for Matherly into the lead.
Yeah, Matherly making that look kind of easy. Soderblom and Matherly not too used to being up here, and those whoops, man, he smashed those things. Everyone else seems to be having trouble with those. Only one whoop section on this track, so they had to make it really difficult, I guess. But Matherly just trying to cement himself out front here early and try to pull a little bit lead after he had those top guys kind of go down big on the first lap.
Yeah, already opening up a little bit of a gap over Soderblom, and Soderblom has some company. It's Tyler Smith on the Infinity ride that's closing in behind him. These guys in this little 3-rider pack have kind of broken away from everybody else. There's about a 4 or 5-rider pack behind them, but Smith closing up on Soderblom almost goes up and over the berm right there. Nice job to keep it crowd, and then Shields drop back to 4th after his crash. Ryan Fleming is back here, as is Dalton Caudill off the side of the track and through the front door, but he doesn't fall off the bike, so a nice save right there. As McIntosh goes by, so too did Anthony Pachone going by. Looks like Buddy Parker is rounding out our transfer spots right now, I believe, as Ryan Pinkerton is currently in 10th behind him. We'll go on board with Pinkerton. You can see the battle for the transfer spot happening right in front of him.
Yeah, Buddy definitely doesn't have a lot of room behind him. He's got this little pack, Pinkerton nice and close, but as we see him actually move up and make a spot, so Pinkerton's going to get by Morrow.
Was down. And Pinkerton did make a pass, but then he's going to get passed back, and that rider that was down, the 70 machine of Pachone, is going through. Looks like he is actually going to retake the final transfer spot, but look at this close battle right here. He is all over the back of Ryan Fleming. He's got Jet Holyhead right in front of him as well, so Holyhead was able to skirt through and make a few passes. I'm still looking. Where is our championship leader, Seth Shirley? I have not seen his name. Oh, he's down in the whoops before the finish line jump. He is well down the field, currently 17th spot. And if you remember, back at Anaheim 1, our defending West champion, Luke Magnetti, did not make the main event at A1 either. So Shirley, maybe a little case of that red plate being a bit too heavy like we saw out of Magnetti at the opening round. He's got to get on his horse. He's only got 2 minutes plus a lap left to try to make this thing happen. He might be LCQ bound tonight.
Yeah, Shirley, I mean, had that great start going for him, tucked the front end, and just hasn't been able to pull it back together. Maybe got that heart rate up and he's a little bit nervous trying to push too much, but he's only P16 right now, but he does have so much room left on the track. You see the transfer positions all the way up in that whoop section, so he's really got to make some huge gains here as we see him just kind of not really flowing anywhere, just making all sorts of mistakes, casing rhythms, and I don't know. I think we see Seth Shirley headed to the LCQ here.
Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable. And another thing that's really working against him, if you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, there's a track map that shows each little dot in front of him is a position. And I mean, he's got to get maybe 2 or 3 more corners before he gets to transfer spots. So he's going to need some help, maybe some guys to go down. He's running out of time quickly, though. We're down to the final minute of this thing, plus a lap, and I don't think he's going to make it. I'm with you. I think he's headed to the last chance qualifier, which is a tough look to see the red plate back in the LCQ for the second round from 3 rounds this year. But back to Matherly out front. He is making it look oh so easy, except in the whoops. Those whoops look like they're a bit treacherous tonight as he was hopping through them as well.
Yeah, I really like, he looked really great through them on the first lap, and I like the fact that he kind of came into them kind of hot, but once he started having problems, you saw him slow up there and start to just kind of double his way out of them, switching up his line a little bit if he's not feeling comfortable on one of the sections and not kind of just driving himself into the ground there, as I feel like a lot of these other guys have. We saw Shirley down in those whoops twice already. He seems to maybe not be able to pull himself back a little bit, but Matherly with a comfortable lead out front here and just putting on a little clinic right here, trying to get some more track experience and get himself ready for the main event, not having any problems with that long rhythm like a lot of the other guys. A little double, triple double here. And he's just kind of flowing out here. Looks really nice, and could be a good step up for him in the main event this weekend.
Yeah, looks definitely more comfortable than Seth Shirley, who we were on board with a few moments ago. But Matherly, SoCal native, so this is a bit of a hometown race. I think he's actually a little bit closer to Anaheim, but good to see him representing the SoCal scene well, as he's going to get sideways in the whoops and go down just before he was going to take the white flag. So Soderblom and Shields, I believe this is, coming through the whoops, are going to maybe take it away. No, they run to the back of him, and Matherly's down again. So Shields goes to the race lead as the white flag waves. We are on the last lap here of 250 heat number 1, and Shields suddenly thrust into a rather large lead as Matherly throws it away.
Yeah, Shields was just kind of cruising around back there, and Matherly kind of handed it over to them, having that one crash, then got knocked off again. He's still going to be safely in a transfer position, but now Shields is in the same spot. He's only got one more lap left, though, to hold on to this thing. A lot of these 250 guys, though, man, they seem to be a little extra inconsistent right now for what I've seen last week and this week. These guys are kind of all over the place a little bit, so it's going to be who can kind of settle down and separate themselves. Even our red plate guy, possibly missing the main event out of the heat race here. I'm going to have to go to the LCQ. Someone just needs to settle down and start getting some good starts and some great position. Holyhead right there in second, actually.
Yeah, he was able to move up.
Who I've seen be kind of consistent, but he still had his flaws last week, so we'll see what happens here.
Well, they're going to have to hope to clean it up in the time from now to the main event. They'll get some practice time, but it is Tyler Shields taking the win in 250 heat number 1 tonight, and it looks as though Holyhead went down in the whoops right there at the end, so Soderblom jumps up to second place over the line. McIntosh will go through in third. Jet Holyhead will just hold off for fourth place over Pinkerton. Bodie Parker slips back to sixth in this one. Tyler Smith, seventh.
Oh, no.
I am not seeing Cade Matherly either, so Smith is going to go through in seventh. Eighth for T-John, which is Tyson Johnson, I believe, right?
I think so.
And then Matherly does just make it through out of this one. P9 going to the main event. Dalton Caudill, Ryan Fleming, Seth Shirley, Jack Gatlin, Gatlin Morrow, Nathan McLaughlin, Trevor Spencer, Tyler McGuire, Aaron Rockefeller, Anthony Pachone, Sam Weigman, all missing out. So they're going to be headed to that last chance qualifier, barring any penalties that we have in this race. But it seems like most everybody was pretty clean, and it looks like we are unfortunately going to see another red plate in the LCQ as these guys bring it on home.
Yeah, that's crazy. We had our, it was in the background there, but whoever was in ninth place actually went down with about 2 whoops to go and let Matherly slip into that final transfer spot. So I think it was, I don't know, he was too close. Our 262 bike who finished up 10th after that last.
Cuts did
whoop
seem
crash.
to shake some stuff around. Well, Matherly stayed in ninth, so maybe not too much. I'm trying to see. Actually, yeah. So Fleming, he finished. Oh, that was fine. Yeah, so these guys are a little bit all over the board. But Matherly does stay in P9, and our winner in this one is still Tyler Shields, who was able to come through and win it. So a nice job for the 67. You will either have first or second gate pick in the main event. Keep in mind that 7:25 total race time, your TRT from the heat race, determines who goes to the gate first. So 7:25 out of this one. If they run a faster heat race in the next one, of course, that winner in that heat race will go to the gate first. Want to give a couple quick shout-outs. We've had a few donations roll in so far. Balin Jones with $1.99 says, yeah, Weege. He's stoked that Weege is in the studio here tonight. Kyle Miller also super chatted $1.99, says $10 if you run a 1-minute flat. Love you, A-Wood. I don't know if he's talking about you running a 1-minute flat or me running a 1 flat.
Probably no shot.
I don't think either one of us are going to get that low tonight, but hey, maybe we'll try it during a break And also a huge shout out to B Roads or Broads 161 for $15. I believe that's Australian dollars that he donated, and says, Kellen, you are a G. No, sir, you guys are a G for watching here tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. Great to have the viewership each and every week, and appreciate the support that you guys continue to bring us. We also want to give a shout out to the series sponsors. Of course, MotoOption back for their 13th year as the title sponsor of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross. Underground RC, Filski and Snowboard, and Race Tech Suspensions as well on the supporting sponsors side of it, making this happen week in and week out. And the Race Factory Gaming track crew putting together a nice track for us to watch here tonight. But I think these guys are going to be a little bit miffed about the Race Factory Gaming track crew building these whoops the way that they have, because it looks a little treacherous for these 250 guys. We'll have to see if the 450s can clean it up. I don't think too many people are stoked on the whoop so far.
Yeah, a little bit more experience in the 450 class, so we'll see how that happens. But you talked about that 7:25 total race time, and with how many lead changes and crashes we saw, I wouldn't be surprised to see Heat 2 be a little bit faster. So keep an eye on that. Whoever you see end up getting the win in this heat coming up here. Going to be really interesting, though. And the track actually seems to be working out pretty good for racing. You know, a little bit different this week. Not so much happening actually on the start straight, but a lot of big rhythms, difficult whoop sections. And it's going to be really exciting to see how this thing kind of shapes up, especially as we move on to the 450 class and start to see some more veterans racing here.
All right. Well, 250 heat number 2 will be coming up next, and we're about to see what happens in that race. We also have he just walked out of the room, but Lancer 2004 with a $5 donation. Oh, he's back. He just walked back in, and Lancer donated $5 and said, throw Weege on the sticks. He'll run a burner. So I want to see Weege put some laps down in MX Simulator. Oh, man, that would be entertainment for sure. I don't know how far he'd make it down the start straight even, but maybe we'll give him a shot here after we watch a few of these races. Oh, man. You want to try?
That's Brower.
You want to try?
On the game.
Yeah, you could give it a try.
Oh, no, here.
How do you, are you muted?
Yeah, no.
How do you even do it? How do we even do it? Oh, it's just a controller.
Yeah, just a controller. Give it a go.
What are we doing? Like, these are just hot laps right now?
Just roll down the start straight if you can. Here, let me get back in the game.
I don't even know what button does what, but...
Have a seat on the couch. Have a seat on the couch.
Here we go. We're going to go for it.
We're going to go for it. Let's see.
I think my son's more pumped on this than me, but let's see what we got. All right.
Oh, he's rolling. Oh, he's looped it out.
Oh, I looped it out. Oh, side saddle rodeo.
Yeah. It's going to have to pick it
How
back
do I
up
get
here.
up?
It's just going to pick itself up.
Oh,
Y is upshift, yeah.
all right, I was saying gear start.
He's
Oh,
on
okay.
the throttle. Let's see if he can roll down the start straight.
Okay, all right. Can I lean
he's getting
forward
rolling.
and try to stop that loop out? All right. All right. What do we got for brakes? Oh. Yeah.
Weege is going for it. He's trying to get
This
down
is
the
it.
start straight.
Oh, he'll get up on his own. All right, here we go. Oh, almost got that loop out.
A
Almost got
small
that loop
intermission
out.
in the action for you guys here, where
Yeah.
Jason Wygant trying to make it
This
through
is
the
about
first
as good.
turn.
Oh,
Almost
it's
got
about
it.
as good as the real deal. Oh,
Oh, Ryder's
Almost got
crashing
landed
near
on.
him.
turn.
Oh, just can't quite get it turned around. Almost. Oh, he's down again.
Sorry,
Not
guys.
the easiest, right?
Sorry, guys, getting in the way. Yeah. No, definitely not the easiest. Nope. Yes, it goes from no turning to more turning than I
Hold
want.
down B to back up.
Oh, there's reverse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a true sim right
Yeah.
there. All right, all right.
over the
no,
first
and
jump,
no turning,
maybe?
and then turning too much. My son loves this. What happened? Warm-up's
All right.
over?
Yeah,
So that's it. I
warm-up's
made it through
over.
one turn.
Made it
I made it
through
through one turn. You want to play a little later, Lane? You want to try doing the...
Yeah, we'll have Lane on the next intermission, but we got to get back to the action here as we're about to drop the gate. 250 heat
Hope everybody
number
enjoyed that as much as I did.
Great to have Jason Wygant and his son Lane in the studio tonight, watching the action here as we get ready to drop the gate. 250 heat number 2 on the line. Top 9 goes to the main event. Let's see who it is. Here we go again.
Oh, that was unreal. All right, gate drop for 250 heat 2. We got another Yamaha up the inside. Let's see if he can make it work. Hugging the inside, a KTM as well just inside of him. That's going to be Braden Tharp. Actually gets that double in, triple on, and look at how far away he is already just getting that rhythm.
Yeah, got a great start out of the inside line. Just kind of controlled the corner, which I think is going to be the way to go for these guys tonight. Once you get down to that first turn, let everybody push a little bit wide and stay tucked to those bales. Tharp comes out with a nice early advantage as he's got a few seconds already on a couple guys behind him. It's Maxime Vanderbeek who's now settled into second place behind that. You got Max Chwalik, Frank Jackson, Austin Schaefer also in the mix, Nick Niles, Andrew Peakman, Brandon Wolf, and a bit of a freight train right here early on with Kyler Hockey and I believe Hayden Stevenson rounding out our early transfer spots. Much cleaner, I feel like, so far in this 250 heat number 2, but let's see them get all through the whoops if they can. Yeah, it looks like everyone's got through pretty clean. Not sure what was going on in Heat 1 right there, but these guys all made it to the end of the whoops this time.
Yeah, definitely not making Heat 1 look very good there with everyone seemingly getting through that pretty smooth. We got Kyler Hockey here. I actually saw our Twalik a little bit further ahead. He was our fastest qualifier. Nick Niles, man, all these guys have just stayed up this first lap. Look how close that this whole group is right now. But Braden Tharp, that shows how important it is to get that whole shot, especially if you can get the first 2 rhythms really clean. He's doing a different line there, going with the quad over and the triple out. I'm not sure if he went double.
I think he went 2, 3, 4, 3 maybe
2, 3,
through
4,
there.
3, yeah.
But I don't know that it's faster just because you don't stay as low on the jumps. You have to kind of the 3 on that second 3 is a little bit peakier. And he's allowed the 29 of Vanderbeek to close right up behind him now. So we're going to have a battle for the lead here on the second lap of the race going on to the third. Vanderbeek might just get it right here down the inside before the finish line. And he's got it. Trying to square back off. Doolies over the finish line jump. Look at this. Tharp launches back down to the inside and takes the spot back. Oh, Vanderbeek triples out of the corner to get back into the lead. Back and forth we go.
Oh, man, he's lucky Vanderbeek wasn't Stank Dog with that kind of move there. He would have had some problem right there. But Vanderbeek actually just cements himself, and now he's got to run away. They've been both making some pretty aggressive moves here. But this is a great battle up front. We see a little aggressive line there, but he actually is going to pull back. We got a Yamaha trying to join the mix, too. So these guys are training, and they all nail that triple in, which is going to set them up on that seemingly faster rhythm, leaving that double out at the end.
We got
Chwalik there, but Chwalik is the one who's actually pulling it up, and he's saying, check me out, guys. I'm the fastest guy on the track here tonight, and I'm going to try to get past both of you.
Trying to, Doolies! Big time. Look at Chwalik trying to cut back underneath, going through the tough blocks even. A great little 3-rider battle for the lead. Chwalik again to the inside, showing him a nose anywhere he can put it as he goes through the whoops. Who's going to get the better drive? Look at this. They're closing up on our leader. Chwalik goes to second place, cuts back up underneath, though. Triley's over the finish line jump. They're this close together. Chwalik is trying to get to Vanderbeek for the lead, but it is absolutely wild right now in this 3-rider battle up front.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that this is going to be the faster heat there.
As
Vanderbeek tucks his front a little bit, but keeps it on 2 wheels. Lets Chwalik go right by, but they just pull back in. They've been the same gap for the last 3 laps in a row almost, as Chwalik is now pulling up and trying to assert himself and say, let me get a chance up there. I'm going to try to check out both the KTM riders that made mistakes, and Vanderbeek stacks it right there. So does...
that was Tharp stacking as well, but he's going to try to get down the inside, make this pass into second place. I think he's got it. Yeah, Vanderbeek can't triple in. I don't know that these 250 guys can triple in. I believe the 450s may be able to get the triple quad if they get that triple in clean enough. But these 250 guys, that is a tight 90 to try to get that triple out of the corner. So Tharp able to get down the inside, pass up into second place. That pushes Vanderbeek back to third. Get into the mix here as well. Frank Jackson also finding some early success here as he's closed on this little freight train. Going on in front, our leader is down. Chwalik, after the whoops, has gone off the side. That pushes Tharp back into the lead. And round and around we go again. Nobody wants the lead. It's musical chairs out front.
Yeah, Braden Tharp back up front making some mistakes, allowing Vanderbeek to come right up and, not going to make the pass on the inside. A little
Tharp front end tuck and they stack it up in the corner. It's still three riders nose to tail here, but this time it's now Frank Jackson getting into the mix. We still, I believe, have Chwalik just off the back of this group behind them, but Tharp leads once again, and Vanderbeek has to go back to the drawing board to try to figure out how to get back around him.
As Vanderbeek actually misses that 3 in again, which maybe could be that benefit of that slightly slower line as this track starts to get beat up if these 250 guys can't get that triple in consistently.
Look at this. Here comes Chwalik again. He's going to get around Jackson, almost make the pass on Maxime Vanderbeek as Tharp has now opened up a little bit of an advantage. Finally got away from this. Wanted to look at the transfer spot battles, but honestly, this lead battle has been absolutely insane thus far. We're down into the final minute of this one, plus a lap. Vanderbeek down, and Chwalik hits him and goes down as well. So that's going to put Frank Jackson up into second place, and it's finally bust wide open. It's Tharp now in the lead by a few seconds over Jackson. Chwalik gets up just behind Vanderbeek. They are still in third and fourth, but now they have Daniel Olsen trying to close up from behind them. So Daniel Irvine runs in 6th. Hayden Stevenson just went down in 7th. That allows Nico Marchini to go through into P7. Luke Fauser has found his way up into 8th. And Johnny Padani right up here in P9. So he holds down our final transfer spot as we are closing up on the last few seconds before time will expire. And then the white flag will wave, of course, next time by to signify the final lap of this race.
It was always Johnny Padani, baby. Oh, and is that going to be...
That's Fauser
that's
going
Fauser
wide.
right there. I didn't see the skin, so couldn't tell. Fauser actually going to move back in the 9th place spot, but he's got company as he stacks that rhythm. And Hayden Stevenson... and he cuts underneath it and still gets the triple in. But he cases it.
So it's going to be bar to bar as they hit the on-off side by side. Stevenson's still trying to get there, and he nose picks and goes down. Stays on 2 wheels this time, though. Doesn't lose too much time, but allows Timmy Briscoe through into P10 as Fauser is a bit of a sitting duck right here, making too many mistakes. These guys are pushing up behind him in this battle for the final transfer spot.
Yeah, Fauser has some pressure here. Briscoe going up the inside, just showing him the wheel a little bit, saying, I'm here, and if you make a mistake in these difficult whoops, I'm going to be right there to pass you. They've also got someone else joining the party right behind him. See a little bit of a mistake by Will Fauser.
Oh,
my God.
No, into the Davalos failed. And Fauser holds the final spot still, but now Stevenson is back there trying to push up behind him. Nobody seems to want this transfer spot right now, but Fauser's doing everything he can to keep it locked down to himself as our lead battle has broken apart. Looks like Tharp has got a 5-second advantage closing in on this checkered flag, but I don't want to miss this action as Stevenson tries to get around Fauser for the final transfer spot in the main event. Fauser almost goes down, so Stevenson has to check up. And who is going to get the better drive through this rhythm section? It's been critical tonight.
Yeah, they both triple in there. Fauser's been making so many mistakes. He's just got to put it together for one more lap. They both get through that section pretty clean. Stevenson a little bit long and a little kick there. He's just making a little bit mistakes. Can he triple out here and get up close? You got one more whoop section. Just stay up and stay close and see if he makes a mistake. Stevenson working hard, scrubbing, but chasing down Fauser. Fauser keeping the lead as we move up in here into this last corner. Or second last corner before the whoops. Let's see what happens.
So Braden Tharp has taken the checkered flag. He has won 250 heat number 2, but coming down to the whoops on the last lap. They're both kind of hopping, and going down in the background is going to be Stevenson as Fauser crosses the line in P9 to transfer to the main event. Both riders absolutely going for it. You knew Stevenson was going to send it into the whoops, and it went all awry at the checkered flag for him. So he's going to end up in 10th. Briscoe 11th. Peakman, Niles, Swanson, Reyes, Hockey, Wolf, Ulibarri, Blake Franklin, Tanner Thorson, Schaefer, all missing the main event. They're going to have to go to the LCQ and join up with that red plate of Seth Shirley. But what a wild heat race that was. The battle for the win early on in this one, and then the battle for the final transfer spot late. I mean, that had everything we wanted.
Yeah, man, that lead battle you see there, 6 seconds to second, 8 seconds back to third. Just crazy how far away that battle ended up being. As we see Tharp end up being able to wrangle it in and stay a little bit consistent, get that dub there. But man, what a great race from front to back. Just exciting. These 250 guys just are on another level. They've got so much speed, but they're also a little bit inconsistent and kind of all over the place. It's some crazy racing and exciting to call, and definitely a lot different than the 450 class, I feel like, so far this season with this 250 West Coast.
Yeah, definitely a lot more inconsistent, as you have been saying tonight so far in this 250 class. The crashing is very common, and we haven't seen anybody really be able to separate themselves in the lead, I would say. So I don't really know what the heck is going to happen going to this main event, but it certainly will be fun. Now, though, it is time for the big boys. 450 heat number 1 coming up first. I think based on qualifying times, we'll probably see Payson Johnson and Leclerc in this heat, would be my guess, but I'm not sure how they're going to actually split them up. But Carter was in between those guys, and I know Eaglin had some good qualifying, so everybody's kind of up there in the mix. I'm sure they'll split them up evenly, but we'll figure out who's in this heat race.
I think Lang might have been third ahead of Eaglin, so it should be Payson, Lang, and Leclerc in one heat, which is going to be insanely stacked. But, I mean, this whole 450 class is, so many of these guys have so much experience and speed, and it's crazy just watching these guys. It's so different from the 250 class, but this is just raw speed, experience from these guys, and man, I get so excited every single one of these races, not just the LCQs and the mains, because those are normally the most action-packed, but the heat races are a little bit crazy as well. So I'm really excited to see what happens here and see who we got here.
Lane, do you want to try to play? All right, let's see. We'll give Lane the sticks here as we load back into the game. Underneath right there.
You can sit down right here if you want.
So when we load back in, Lane Wygant, Jason Wygant's son, is going to be trying to give it a go here on MX Simulator. I'm not sure. You've never played this game, right? So
No.
first go, he's going to have a...
I've only played the other one. I played Monster Energy Supercross.
Oh, man. So we're going to give him a taste of what it's like to play sim here as we're going to get loaded back in and give him a chance.
Your throttle right here and your brake. So gas and brake.
And this is turning.
And this is your steering. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit
Is this
hard.
leaning?
There's no leaning, so it's just going to be this one stick over here. And then I'll shift you in a second to start just to make it a little bit easier. The 450's got a lot of power, but that should basically be all you need. Just kind of start off slow, and once you get moving, it gets a little bit easier to balance. I think you got this.
All right, almost loaded back in. We'll get him a chance as we wait for 450 heat number 1 to get rolling. And great to have all the support tonight. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in to round 3 of MotoOption Supercross in MX Simulator. Just got to disconnect and reconnect real fast for you. But then we should be in, and you can roll off the line. All right, let's see. And he's off. Well, getting down the start straight a little bit better than his dad was, that's for sure, as he gets into the first turn. Tucks the front wheel. Not too bad, not too bad.
Start leaning, it kind of does go kind of quick, so it's a little bit tricky. You'll have to start going forward a little bit and kind of let your rider get all the way up for a second. And then you got 90 seconds.
Oh, back the other way. Oh, almost looped down onto the Dragon's back. It's hard, right? Yeah.
It's a lot different than the Supercross game. A lot more very fine.
Woo! Launching off the side of the Supercross triple.
Your freestyle career is getting started.
I'll give you another shot here in a moment. We're about to load back into the race, so appreciate that.
Sit over here if you want to, if you want to have a better view.
All right, no, we're good. All right, back in the race and ready to go. Let's see who gets the jump here. 450 heat number 1 in San Diego. Looks like we got Leclerc on the gate, Payson Johnson on the inside, Colby Eaglin, Braden Castellanetas. They're all off and running, but it's Caleb Hall who might get to the corner first. Leclerc on the 7 pushes him a little bit wide, and it will be Alexis Leclerc picking up the whole shot in this one. No surprise there. Eaglin going with him. He also got Hubbard up there and Johnson, so some heavy hitters right off the get-go. We already got a little bit of a battle brewing, though, as you can see Eaglin getting on Leclerc's back tire.
Yeah, these guys wasting no time here. Leclerc, always a great starter. No surprise there, and just knew he would hug around that inside. I was surprised to see him get that rhythm as clean as he did. Not as difficult for the 450 guys to hug that inside. But Leclerc with some company here is this top 4 man right behind him. So no mistakes here. Let's see how this happens. Leclerc, famously really good in the whoops. Got a very different technique than a lot of people. So we'll see if he has any troubles here, and he does not, as he makes it perfectly smooth.
Ooh, that was, I believe, Hall going... Oh, no, it's Hubbard, excuse me, going down on the 78. And another rider coming flipping in to your screen right there. So even the 450 guys not really getting through it completely clean, but Leclerc making it look pretty easy out front. Eaglin putting the pressure on from behind, though.
And pacing.
Yeah, Johnson also flying. Actually, let's go on board with Johnson and see if he can just start chipping away at this gap here quickly. Curious to see what Johnson's doing on the track that allowed him to qualify P1 tonight.
Yeah, so we see that triple quad single right there. Definitely a lot bigger line. This one right here, though, this triple quad double is going to be the exact same as the 250s. Just a lot more corner speed here.
Outside,
see what goes on. Outside triple.
I think he might be able to get that quad, though, if he gets that triple in a little bit cleaner.
I think so, too. These 450s got a lot of power there, and going outside is definitely going to make it longer. But if you can get that section in 2 jumps, I think that's definitely going to be a little bit faster. Maybe what helped him with his qualifying time a little bit. These guys kind of staying consistent, but pacing, little mistake there. Able to hold on to it through the whoops for now.
Wow, good job there. We actually have a little battle for the lead brewing. Leclerc and Eaglin side by side nearly over the finish line jump. Leclerc has to go defensive, actually, so Eaglin's going to get a better drive out of this corner. Let's see if he gets to the inside. No, Leclerc shuts the door, but now it goes wide, and Eaglin takes the advantage and puts Leclerc in the dirt.
Yeah, just a little clip on that front tire there, puts him down to the ground. Not all the way off the bike, though. But, man, that shows you if you go up and you've put your front wheel up inside on the guy there, going into that one little rut on that flat ground corner, you can push that guy wide a little bit and kind of take advantage of that. As we see Eaglin now moving up and pacing right behind him, trying to pull him in. He elects not to go for that other big rhythm here. Not sure if he's just kind of settling back in his race pace, but Colby Eaglin right now, it's his time to shine and just put together some laps and try to get away from these guys.
Yeah, Eaglin not too far ahead of his teammate there, Johnson, who is inching a little bit closer. And look at this drive he's got through the whoops, right up on top of those, skims right over neatly. Seems like this week the whoops are all about just hitting that perfect little top notch every single whoop if you possibly can, staying away from kind of bouncing in between him. And Johnson now right up onto his teammate. A little bit of a practice day out here for the District Designs program as Johnson kind of tucking into the tough blocks a little bit, closes right up behind the 24 of Eaglin out front. Johnson.
Oh my, what?
Wow, what a save. The rear end kicks out. He slides it all the way around the berm and keeps it going.
Man, you can just tell just the way Payson rides. He has insane speed there. I've
never seen someone wheelie into the face like that
he
before.
just did that multiple times. That was insane.
Oh, thought he might get kicked sideways right there.
I am so mind blown by the way Payson Johnson rides, but it seems to work. But man, he's just showing that speed. We'll see if he can hit the whoops like that again. Just like you said, barely getting on top, just barely tapping those whoops, not getting hung up. But that speed that he came into him with is just insane. Let's see if he does it again here. Gets another great drive.
Yeah, I mean, look at he's just tipping right across the top. Wheelies the last four out right there. Absolutely flying around this track right now, putting the pressure on Eaglin out front. A little further back, Leclerc's drifted down a little bit. I think he may have just gone down after the whoop, so he's going to cross the line in 7th now. And Noah McLaughlin is in the final transfer spot just ahead of Noah Boutigny. We have about 8 guys that have broken away from the field, though, so the front 8 looking pretty solid. I think we might go back and check out that transfer spot battle here in a moment, but I feel like Johnson is going to catch his teammate for the lead here before long, and we're going to have a battle.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on this lead battle a little bit more. Johnson getting hung up there, but doesn't seem to lose him any time. So much about corner speed for these guys as Johnson's going to go outside for the triple, and let's see what he does.
No, doesn't go for the quad.
Another triple too, but he's doing that landing rear wheel and wheeling into the face again. I'm not sure. I've never seen that in this game.
Yeah, usually if you have that front wheel hard land into the face of the next jump, it pops you off the bike pretty quickly. So I'm surprised that he's figured out a suspension setup that works well enough across the entirety of the track that doesn't bounce him off the bike when he hits the face of those jumps like that. But for him so far, it is working, and it does appear to be fast because he has allowed his teammate Eaglin to kind of stretch away, and then he closes it right back up a little bit again. So back and forth, these guys are kind of making it interesting, but really, Eaglin's done a pretty good job at keeping his teammate behind him. Oh, and another mistake. Johnson
has a mistake. Same spot, leaning over too much, coming into that berm there, and just kind of letting his rear wheel kick out. Seems to have everything dialed there, but his teammate Eaglin just kind of pulling away, and this is great news for the 450 main event. If we see these guys with this much speed and even the little mistakes by Payson being so consistent, pulling away from Leclerc and just kind of trying to check out here, I'm really excited to see what other guys are doing here.
Eaglin was down. And so Johnson jumps right over top of him. So now we do have that battle for the lead, but it's Eaglin who's doing the chasing instead. I wonder if Eaglin was able to kind of understand what Johnson was doing behind him, maybe pick up on some of those lines now that he can follow him, try to pass him back for the win in this thing because we are coming down to the final few seconds. So white flag actually is waving this time by, just barely tipped over the 6-minute mark. White flag out, and his teammates battling for the win here in 450 Heat 1 in San Diego. Payson Johnson on the 51 ahead of the 24 of Colby Eaglin, both on that District Designs program. Oh, Johnson front end tuck going into that corner. You can see that rut developing, and Johnson just pushes it too hard.
Yeah, Johnson just not backing off as much as he needs to as this track's starting to erode a little bit. We're going to see a lot more of that in this 450 main event. This is only 6 minutes plus a lap. We're going to have to go 20 plus 1.
Johnson doing that again. I can't believe that's working.
I wanted to make a comment, but I'm speechless. I don't understand. I get you're putting the power to the ground, but not looping out, just
it's
what?
Just that is such a precise maneuver.
Wheelie scrub, it's like A-Hodge doing the but riding the vet track at Paula.
You may see that move done in Monster Energy Supercross the game, but I promise you it is not easy to do that in this game whatsoever. It is very technical to get that line correctly.
I don't know how it works.
Meanwhile, up front, Colby Eaglin survives the barrage of attacks from his teammate to take the win in 450 Heat number 1. Johnson will cross the line in second behind him with Castellaneta in third. Leclerc able to get around at the end there to fourth as Hubbard crashed on the last lap. And does that allow... Yeah, Connor Holiak goes by into P5. And Dakota French goes up to 6th. So Hubbard ends up in 7th. Pablo Vial is in 8th. And McLaughlin, who we saw was in the final transfer spot earlier, is still in the final transfer spot. As long as he gets through these whoops clean. Just trying to hop off of each little whoop right there and does a nice job of doing so. McLaughlin will go to the main event, barring penalties, as Boutigny crosses there in 10th. You got Pilsner in 11th. Holt in 12th. Ooh, and getting tied up in the corner there, John Heilman, as Caleb Hall went for the full send takeout up the inside. Carson West also going to the LCQ. Hall, Larson, Bear, O'Brien, Rakowski headed to those last chance qualifier races as well, as these guys now just cruising around. They were a lap down, was Blake O'Brien, so the only rider who finished this one and was also a lap down. Waiting for Austin Bear and a few others to cross the line, and there are penalties. Just checking on that final transfer spot, it did stay the same. McLaughlin does get that 1 second advantage over Boutigny to go to main event, as Eagland retains the win here in 450 heat number 1.
Yeah, Eagland just showed some great speed off this. Not the best start there, but just put yourself up in that top 5 and just kind of put the hammer down. Least mistakes out of anyone. We did see him go down once in that short section on the other side of the stadium, but Eagland just showing a good start to tonight, showing he's gelling with the track. You can see that he doesn't have a lap time, not nearly as fast as Payson does, but it's all about consistency here. He's still got the speed to be a top guy, and he wants to put himself in a good spot here tonight. We're gonna have to see how heat 2 goes and see what the other guys are doing on this track and kind of consistency. But Eagland, a early favorite for to be at least on the podium at the end of tonight.
Yeah, 7 minutes and 2 seconds was that total race time for this one, so we'll keep an eye on that for the second heat race in the 450 class. And of course, our defending champion Braden Carter will be coming to the gate next, the number 1 Phil ski and snowboard ride. The current points leader still as well after a win at the opening round in Anaheim and a 4th last week in Oakland, but just that 1 point over Alexis Leclerc, who is 4th in this heat race tonight. So a little bit of a mixed result so far based on our championship standings, but we'll see if maybe Carter can turn it around moving into this main event. He also is going to have Tyler Lang, who was 2nd last week in Oakland, right alongside him in this coming heat race. And of course, Lang, the 2021 MX Simulator National Champion, had a very, very rough opening round of the year where he finished 15th and was lapped in the Anaheim 1 main event. Bounced back huge last week in Oakland. He's one of the few guys that could consistently retain that front spot. Battled Payson Johnson a few times as well before Payson went on to win the race. So we'll see Lang, we'll see Carter, and we'll see a host of other riders in that heat race coming up here in just a moment. Want to give a shout out real quick again to our sponsors, MotoOption Clothing, Underground RC, Phil Ski and Snowboard, and Race Tech Suspension. We thank them for the support, putting on the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one can do it like my dad.
You want to try again? All right, we'll give Lane the sticks again one more time as we come out of the break here. But Lane Wygant, of course, we had Jason Wygant in the studio a little bit earlier. He tried to have a go around the track, and his son Lane Wygant is here tonight. So we'll give him another shot to try to make a lap around the track here in MX Simulator. If you've never played MX Simulator before, as Lane never has until tonight, it is a very challenging game. It is not quite as simple as going fast in a straight line as in the Monster Energy Supercross games or MX vs. ATV games. It is a whole different challenge of its own to even make it into the corners. So we're going to give Lane a chance to see what he can do. And have you learned anything from that first go, Lane, that you're going to try to apply in this time?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go down the straightaway better, or you think you're going to make the corner better? What are you thinking?
I'm going to try to actually make the first turn.
There we go. I like the confidence. We'll see if he can do it. Fun little intermissions tonight. Good to have a lot of people in the studio. Of course, a lot of people in Southern California right now for the Real Supercross Championship that is going on. Of course, San Diego Supercross coming up this weekend, and our studio is based in Southern California. So we get some people, some guest appearances every now and again, and great to have the Wygant family here tonight. Oh, gotta get loaded back in. Sorry, it's frozen. All right. Give him a chance to go here. Sorry. There we go. All right, Lane Wygant going to try to make it down and through the first turn. Ooh, loops out. Just try to be really careful with your movements on the. So start rolling forward and just slightly lean to the right. There you go, and then pick it back up. Lean back the other way. There you go. Starting to go the right way a little bit. Oh, almost lined up for the jump. Oh man, they're refreshing these races so fast.
They keep every time they do the races, it kicks you out.
Thank you. All right.
And get some practice after.
Yeah, 450 heat number 2 is on the gate now. 30 card is going to go sideways, and we'll see these guys run it down in the first turn. Carter, the number 1 machine, lined up far inside. We'll see how that works. See what happens as we drop the gate on the final heat race of the night. We are off and running.
Yeah, Braden Carter far inside gate, but he's got a great jump there. If he's able to hug this.
Oh, a lot of guys running wide,
yeah. The hole shot there.
Carter grabs the hole shot and almost gets into Nathan Prynn. I don't know why I don't have Prynn skins this week. I wonder if he updated his skins and we just didn't quite get them. Oh, he's going to get together with a few guys. Jeremy Smith kind of punts him in the second turn, so Carter has a huge advantage. It is Jeremy Smith now moving into that second spot. Ethan Parks, his teammate, is also up in a good spot, and someone just got absolutely landed on in the background. A few guys going down. You got Blakely going down. Matt Cromie was also down going through there, and just some absolute chaos amongst the groups here as Carter, the championship leader, gets a great start in the heat race, and he is off and running.
Braden Carter, man, what a great start by him, and so much carnage at the end of that long rhythm section. He saves
what
it.
A save.
Braden Carter still holding on to that lead, throws a big whip. He's like, all right, guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. As he's going to come around here, he's got a huge lead in front of second place. But Jeremy Smith, after that great performance last week, he said, I'm going to come back and get a top 5. The wily veteran, he's got off to a great start so far in this heat race and trying to chase down the last year's champion, Braden Carter, and show that he's got some speed back, and he's looking great so far this year. I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, we've known Jeremy has always been one of the most consistent riders in the game. Little known fact about him, though, because he hasn't always been a perennial frontrunner in the 450 class, he is still the active winningest MX Simulator rider of all time. 56 career wins between the 250 and 450 division when you combine them. That is only 5 more than Alexis Leclerc has amounted in his career. And Smith has won several 450 main events and 450 national races, but has never quite contended for that title amongst all the wins that he has collected over his career. But it's great to see him still out here. It's been a decade since he made his pro debut back in 2012 in the game, and just crushing it week after week. 5th at Oakland, now 2nd in this heat race, and just the same old consistent Jeremy Smith we've always seen in this game. I feel like you and I were racing him just yesterday, and here he still is crushing it against these guys.
He's just always like a top 5 guy, and he seemed to have fell off with speed as he kind of went into his racing career a little bit more a couple years ago, but it's crazy to see a guy like we talked about that's been out of it for so long kind of get that speed back and start being able to run up with some of these young guys that are putting in so much time. But Jeremy Smith with a huge lead back there in second. So Braden Carter and Jeremy Smith just out here kind of training. This is a way big difference from that last heat race we just saw where there was so much carnage and action nonstop for the first with the top 4. So
yeah, let's funnel through the field a little bit here. Smith is in second behind Carter. Then we have Luke Sullivan on the 11 TSCZ Productions machine in third. Ethan Parks, another SYS racing rider, up here in 4th place. So I'm stoked for my guys tonight so far. Sonny Spicer's going to swing wide, and I think that is Nathan Prynn going up the inside to pass into 5th place. So Prynn, a nice move. Oh, going to get a little bit sideways in the whoops. Just corrals it into the end. And he is holding on to 5th now over Spicer. Devin Davis of the Yogi Designs program is in 7th with Tyler Lang on that number 5 JIBR.co ride in 8th. Brandon Nygren rounds out our transfer spots right now on the Boots House program. And Adam Holm, the 17 machine, trying to get up there and mix it up. Adam Holm, another former world champion in this game who took a little bit of a hiatus last year, is back now. Looks like trying to full-time race it a little bit in between his music career. Great to see the atom.com machine out here on the 17 trying to battle his way into a transfer spot as he works on closing up to Nygren ahead of him.
Yeah, Adam Holm just short back there trying to make this work, but Brandon Nygren trying to move his way up, actually. He's got a couple guys right in front of him, so it's good to see a lot of these guys back here racing. I didn't think we would see Atom at more than just that race last week, but it's good to see him consistently out here trying to make it back in some main events and have some good results here. As Nygren going to come into this whoop section, he's chasing down this couple in front of him who are making some passes.
Look at Holm jumping through the whoops. I was kind of waiting to see if somebody would start trying to do it with how treacherous these whoops are tonight. It's obviously not as fast as blitzing them, but Holm maybe just going the consistent route back here in P10, trying to work his way up to this transfer spot. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it. These whoops are jumpable because they're so peaky and far apart. He's kind of tripling through them. Maybe using the Marvin Muscan technique a little bit, trying to get into a transfer spot.
Yeah, you actually really don't see that much in this game, so I'm really surprised to see him doing that. Those must be some really big whoops if you got people starting to actually try to jump them. But man, these guys,
Rider down
coming
Sonny
up
Spicer.
Here. Sonny Spicer by, so Adam Holmes going to make it in, so he's got a transfer spot now. You see Chase Blakely on that Kawasaki goes by, so he's going to be outside looking in. Looks like he's 11th.
Yeah, Alec Horn moves up into 10th now behind Holm. I want to see if Holm is still going to jump through the whoops this time by. We're down to the final minute plus a lap of 450 heat number 2. Heat racing action almost done here tonight in San Diego. Look at that. Yeah, so he's tripling in and then quadding. Oh, but he gets hit from the rider going down. That was Brandon Nygren going down, and it takes Adam Holm with him. I can totally see, though, jumping into that first whoop, quadding through it. I mean, if you can go, jump in, quad, maybe double out or whatever, that's got to be a pretty good line to do consistently.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see him jumping into that starter whoop, so that's definitely going to help it there. And yeah, if he can get through that in 2, maybe 3 jumps easily, definitely seems like a very viable line, especially if you've just been having trouble with your setup and unable to make it consistently through the whoops. Why not go for a little bit different line, even if it is going to be maybe 0.2 slower every lap? So Alec Horn now up into a transfer spot, I think, right after that.
Yeah, he is P8, so Blakely's actually in the final transfer spot, I believe, in 9th now for BPC. So Horn, he's tailing Devin Davis. We still have Nathan Prynne up in 6th. Luke Sullivan is in P5. Tyler Lang trying to pass Ethan Parks to go into 3rd as he's down the inside of the 147 machine. Lang right up on top of those whoops, gets to the inside, but goes down almost up and over the berm. Nice save. So he's going to stay on 2 wheels and remount in 7th by the looks of it. But, man, that could have gone awry real quickly, and he might have been headed to the LCQ as the white flag is waving. Not too much time left to make something happen. Oh, Jeremy Smith has gone to the lead, so Carter throws this one away, and the 4 machine is out front.
Yeah, Carter must have had a big mistake there. Definitely a fall-off crash with how far he is, but he's still pretty close behind Jeremy Smith. Really interesting to see so many of these fast guys just having little issues that they normally don't have. The whoops having a really tough time on people, and I wonder how much a road is happening inside some of those rhythm sections where these guys are kind of making mistakes. A lot of timing issues on the track so far this year, maybe with the way they're being built, but Braden Carter up the inside.
Carter's trying to make a run for it into the whoops. Final lap, he gets a good drive. He's on the rear tire. He almost gets into Smith, but it's going to be Jeremy Smith winning 450 heat number 2. SYS on top, baby, as Carter is going to cross the line in 2nd behind him. So it's 2nd place for the number 1 machine. Sullivan in 3rd. Lang gets all the way up to 4th, so good ride for the 5. Devin Davis is going to round out the top 5 with Alec Horn crossing in 6th. Nathan Prynne will get 7th. Ooh, Blakely down in the last turn.
Oh, no!
And he gets hit, and a few guys getting tossed over, several riders going down, and somehow Seth Carr stayed on 2 wheels to get the final transfer spot. Matt Cromie misses out by 0.8. We will have to see if penalties play a factor, but Blakely is going to be beside himself right there, 8th, and went down in the whoops to throw it away on the last lap. Ethan Parks was 4th at one point in this thing, ends up in 12th, so he's not going to the main event either. He's got to go to the LCQ. Bob Joe, Sonny Spicer, Nygren, Speck, Olsen, Thomas Soon all missing out, and those cuts do come in. Let's see if it affected it. No, Seth Carr remains in the final transfer spot. So not too many penalties here tonight really affecting things, as it is going to be Jeremy Smith taking the win here in 450 heat number 2.
Did he not hit him and like right out of the front flip right there?
Yeah, he did. I think he came in P12 too, so that was a wild ride to see Seth Carr go through.
I thought Cromie had it coming up, and I was like, I saw one of the guys that I thought was flipping just keep riding around the turn, and I was like, what's going on? But actually, we just skipped by. I saw Braden Carter practicing that jump inline as we were messing around. Trying to get that down, see if he can get a different rhythm lane. You see some other guys right there messing around, jumping into that, trying to see if they can get some alternate lines here. Man, look at that canvas here. That is beautiful.
Yeah, curious to see. Because it is going to be curious to see if those guys end up doing that at any point during the main event, especially, these whoops are going to break down with the road system. So it's going to be a little bit tougher for these guys to actually make it happen through those whoops as they get rougher throughout the main event. Jumping could actually be a viable line through here tonight. We'll have to see. All right, coming up next is going to be maybe the favorite races of the night for us. It's these last chance qualifiers. Only 4 riders going to the main event out of the 22 riders going to the gate. Everybody else behind those 4 riders, of course, going home early tonight and not making it to the main event. Only 5 minutes plus a lap to make it happen. And this 250 class is also going to feature our championship leader right now, Seth Shirley going to the line in this last chance qualifier. It is going to be a tough road for him to try to make it through. Needs to get a start or else he is going to be in for a world of hurt in this thing.
Yeah, he knows he's got the speed. He just had a great start actually going into the first turn, tucked the front end and just couldn't kind of get it back together. So it's pretty interesting to see. We'll see if he can get a better start here and just kind of start putting some laps together.
All right, we're going to put Lane Wygant back on the sticks again. He's done a couple runs down the start straight. We'll see what he's able to do this time. And so far, I think in the friendly competition against his dad, he is beating him, we think.
Who's better, Lane?
Me.
He definitely thinks it's him.
Come on, man.
Great to have the Wygants in studio tonight.
Let's see if you got what it takes, bro. You talk a good game. Good. You can go ahead. No, it's all good. Oh, you want to be on camera? You want to be seen?
Yeah.
All right, let's see the eye of the tiger.
All right,
Focus.
we'll put the Wygants on camera here. See if Lane can make it down the track.
Hopefully they don't start the race right away again.
I know, right? They started the race so
I
fast.
technically made it into the first turn as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it was a bass backwards way of getting through, but I made it there. Let's see what you got. You gonna double in?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
At least try.
You're gonna double off that berm. All right, here we go. We're just completely destroying the reputation of the 152 California here by crashing his motorcycle.
No, we're fine. The people love to see it. The people love to see the Wygants. See if they can make it a lap around this track here tonight. All right. Let's see Lane make it around the track here. Oh, he's going to try to go for the jump. Go for the triple.
Hey, what?
Oh, through the front door and down.
Wow. You just ragdolled. So it will endo if you do not.
Yeah, you got to lean back. You got to, yeah, it's.
You'll hit a kicker.
I don't know if you want to try to let him stand, Andrew, because he's sitting right now. Hey. Yeah, because he was sitting, so it'll be easier for him to hit a jump at least.
That'll add to that seat bounce effect for sure.
Yeah, now he stood up. I mean, he's getting around a little bit. He's going different directions.
I beg to differ. I got it. It's nothing. Make me proud.
Look at this. Goes for the double. Oh, they're restarting the race. Oh, come on.
Double.
Way to go, Tyler Lane. Right, he just can't even allow it.
We had a 1.5.
Thanks, Andrew.
We're gonna have to end the stream with some maybe stiffen up the suspense or the settings a little bit.
All right, it is get nervous time for everybody here on the gate in San Diego. 22 riders, only 4 go to the main event. 5 minutes plus a lap. Let's drop the gate on the 250 last chance qualifier.
Let's see as we get a loop out on the gate.
Yeah, looped out off the gate. 93 into the first turn. That is going to be Aaron Rockefeller in and out of the first turn with the hole shot, but he almost goes down, and we're already getting wily. Who's going to the lead? Hayden Stevenson takes it over. Dalton Caudill, if anything from those 250 heat races, we learned that these 250 guys are inconsistent, so don't take it for what we're looking at to see Hayden Stevenson with the early lead right now. Where is Seth Shirley? He is buried right now in 19th place, the championship leader.
Yeah, he had that inside gate pick, must have gotten stuck in a pile up there, and we see Dalton Caudill out here off to a great start behind Stevenson. He's got Jack Gatlin right behind him, followed by Anthony Pichon, who's going to be in the 4th place spot, but Caudill right here.
So Pichon, in P4. He has Kyler Hockey right behind him.
There we go. So Kyler Hockey, man, look at that train of guys right behind him. So that's the scariest place to be, is right where Pichon is right now. One little mistake, and he's going to have a full train of guys coming by him. So he's just got to try to stay up, put a couple laps together, and let at least that thin out. If you're going to make a mistake, it's better to have 1 or 2 guys behind you instead of 7 or 8 in the train. So Kyler Hockey right now, though, leading this train, trying to make it work here. And they got that flat corner to contend with that looks really difficult before a rut gets built in. So these guys all giving chase here, and we'll see how this ends up.
Yeah, so far so good. I was surprised to see how clean everybody got through the whoops, as Hockey's going to miss that jump right there, and it actually allowed Tanner Thorson to get passed by Sam Weigman up the inside, trying to look back and see a flash of the red plates on Seth Shirley, I think. Oh, through the front door goes Kyler Hockey, so he goes down, and Shirley is right there going by right now, so he is in 11th spot, is our championship leader. He does have a few guys right in front of him. Let's see if he can jump into 10th right here around the outside. Gets it done. Let's see. He's going to have to make some passes here quickly. We're already 2 minutes down of this 5 minute plus 1 lap last chance qualifier. I think this is where it's going to happen if he can get through the whoops while these guys are going down, but nobody's really going down in front of him. He's not getting as lucky as he might have gotten in the heat race.
Yeah, he can't kind of not just going to get those handed to him anymore. A lot of these guys have had the time while the 450 heats were going on to practice a little bit more, get those whoops down. Seth Shirley, though, look at the speed that he has. So he knows that he's one of the faster guys. He's holding on to that red plate. All he needs to focus on right now is getting as much speed as he can, but staying clear of some of these guys. He got to get 6 more positions to get in that final chance for position, or else this will be the second time this year that we've seen a points leader miss a main event.
Almost got that pass done on Brandon Wolf, but Wolf able to skirt back around the outside. You can see it's pretty close still in front of him. It's a bit of a freight train, but he can't quite seem to make these passes stick as he almost goes wide. Another rider is off the track, so he's going to actually jump up into 8th, maybe into 8th. Yeah, gets into 8th now as the rider gets back on behind him. Kind of tossing dualies off the triple right behind Andrew Peekman as Peekman slides across the start straight. So let's see as they go through the whoops again if Shirley can make any more advantages. He's going to go down the right side and try to make a pass perhaps.
Yeah, and you can see that Kawasaki in the corner actually going down. 3 people down in front of him.
He's going to get through
all the way up into 5th.
Yeah, P5, so he's 3 seconds behind transfer spot. He's going to need a little bit of help still. It's Austin Schaefer on the 361 in the final transfer spot. Crunch time for these guys to hold steady and not allow that group behind them to catch up. Hayden Stevenson was our leader at one point. He's now 3rd as Pachon goes up into 2nd place. Stevenson might quad over behind him. And our leader, Dalton Caudill, has a little bit of breathing room to work with, so he has a great position at the moment because he doesn't have that pressure from behind from anybody else. Pachon has gotten away from Stevenson, who's made a few mistakes, so Shirley is going to love to see those mistakes as he closes that gap down. He's bringing Jack Gatlin with him. This is opportunity time for Shirley to try to make this main event.
Yeah, this thing's far from over. I'm really worried about the first place Dalton Calder up there. As this crunch time starts to get, we got just under a minute plus a lap to go. These kind of guys with less experience in the main events the nerves really get to you as you're trying to hold on. So even though he is safely in first, who knows what's going to happen.
Rider
but we
down.
Looks like 3rd place rider
that
go
was
down
Schaefer. Yeah, and down behind him too was Gatlin and more riders going down through the whoops. Everybody having problems in this 250 division. That is going to help out Shirley a ton because he's got a bit of breathing room behind him now, up into P4 and has about, let's give it like 4 seconds back to the next rider. So as long as he stays on 2 wheels, we know he has the pace. This might be the opportunity for him to make the main event.
Yeah, Seth Shirley being given some gifts there, having those 3 guys go down at the end of the whoops there. It's just insane to see that Shirley's able to make it after being so far back there. But man, he's definitely pushing right now. Still making some mistakes though. You got to be a little bit wary about what can happen. You know these guys. Even Shirley has shown us tonight, not completely consistent like he would like to be, but definitely in a great spot right now and has some breathing room behind him.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if he gets through the whoops these next 2 laps as the white flag will be waving this time by. He's got to get through these treacherous things 2 times as he's kind of hopping through them, but that might be the safe play. Honestly, he has the time. Maybe you consider doubling through them on the last lap just to make sure you get through them and don't have a weird kick and go down.
If I've got at least 3 or 4 seconds behind me going into these whoops, I am pretty much rolling them, no matter how much I've done. So Seth Shirley, yeah, having that gap there, if he gets to that section, I would be surprised if he blitzes them at least full speed, maybe just holding it first gear and just kind of tapping along, trying to limit those mistakes because you do not want to go down there as you're in the last spot, especially with that red plate. All you need is points every weekend, especially in this class, and you can't be missing it. So Seth Shirley doing a great job and actually trying to give himself one more spot here, but running out of time on this last lap. So we'll see. They're catching Pachon and Stevenson. Yeah,
Stevenson and Pachon nose to tail, and actually things have changed. What happened? Shirley is up into 3rd now by the looks of it. Something happened to our leader, Dalton Caudill. He is out of a transfer spot now. He's going to have to get some luck here on this last straightaway. Shirley is going for the blitz and the whoops as they come down to the flag. It is going to be Pachon to take the LCQ win from Stevenson. Shirley does make the main event, and Austin Schaefer just beats out Dalton Caudill to go to the main event as well. It was so close in the end, only 1.4, but Caudill throws it away on the last lap. He's going to be beside himself over that one. Sam Weigman, Nick Niles, Andrew Peekman over the Davalos Bales. You got Blake Franklin, Aaron Rockefeller, Timmy Briscoe, Tyler McGuire. Gatlin Morrow, Kyler Hockey, Trevor Spencer, Jack Gatlin, Tanner Thorson, Brandon Wolf, Nathan McLaughlin, J.R. Reyes, Talon Ulibarri, Ryan Swanson, Ryan Fleming, also all missing the main event tonight. Tough go for those gentlemen, but the top 4 guys are going to be happy about their position, and no man is happier right now than this guy. Talk about breathing a sigh of relief. Never want to go to the LCQ. The last thing you want is to go to the LCQ with the red plate and crash in the first turn.
No, for sure. He had a couple mistakes in the first turn, both races so far, but man, I thought he was going to not really blitz those last whoop sections, but if you look, he was only 8/10 off of the win. So I think once that situation kind of changed, he was like, screw it, I'm going to go for a win and maybe a slightly better gate pick. And it looks like we didn't have anything change inside the top 4 there, so we're going to have the same guys that we saw earlier going to the main event, and Dalton's just short, missing out.
Tough luck.
I feel like I kind of jinxed him a little bit, but that's what happens. You don't have the experience. You get so nervous. I have led so many LCQs and not transferred just because it's scary. That's probably the scariest thing of the night. I would rather whole shot a main event than whole shot an LCQ and have all that pressure of, okay, you're in the catbird seat.
The catbird seat. You got it in there.
Got it in there.
They've been saying it in the chat all night.
Last week, too, I was like, got to find a way to drop it.
Yeah, I know.
Really excited to see this racing in the 250 class, man. It's going to be hectic in the 250 class. 450 LCQ, you know, is going to be insane. There's so many big names, so many guys that just missing out. So this next race is probably going to be even better, honestly, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens in this upcoming 450 last chance qualifier. Same scenario as we see in the 250 class. There is only 4 riders that will transfer to the main event, and there was 18 other riders that are going home early tonight. So it is crunch time to make the main event tonight in San Diego. And going to be some unhappy campers after this one. So we'll see what happens. Want to give one more shout out again to our sponsors, MotoOption Clothing, Underground RC, Phil's Ski and Snowboard, and Race Tech Suspension. You're watching round 3 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator. If you're curious about this game at all and you would like to try it out for yourself, be sure to head over to mxsimulator.com. That's mxsimulator.com. To try out the game for yourself. You can play the demo. You can download it for free and see just how difficult it is of a game to play. But if you want to get the full game, it is $42, and there is thousands and thousands of user-created tracks, bikes, you name it. It's probably in this game. So if you guys want to try it out, it is mxsimulator.com to check it out. If you want to get involved in this series at all, be sure to register at initesports.gg or sign up to race at racefactorygaming.com. Init Esports has partnered with the AMA to make this an official AMA Esports Supercross Championship, and they've also implemented a verification system for everyone that wants to get scored in the championship. A full explanation is available on the Init Esports website, but you can also ask any further questions that you may have on the Init Esports Discord or Race Factory Discord as well. All right, on to the 450 last chance qualifier coming up. Lane, you want to try again? All right, we'll give Lane Wygant the sticks again as he tries to make it down the start straight. And see how he goes. We'll go back into our intermission screen here and have a dandioso time. But great to have all the support here tonight from you guys at home. We've had a few donations roll in that I haven't quite got to just yet, so appreciate Alex Efforts super chatted $5, and he asked if we can get a classic Weege. Yeah, he did earlier, so maybe we'll get him back here a little bit later on and have him try again. But also, Lancer 2004, a $5 donation, and said he's a barker, go Lane. So stoked to see Lane on the sticks tonight, giving it a run down the start straight. All right, 4th attempt. Let's see how Lane does here off the gate. Oh, 3rd gear this time, so starting a little bit slower and standing up now. Let's see if he goes for the triple. He's going to go for it. He gets on the throttle. He nails a triple into the corner. He falls off, but he finally got the triple. Love to see it. Let's see where he goes from here. He's going to go back. Oh, man, they keep restarting these races so darn fast. For once, they're actually super fast.
Oh, switch. Well, we can practice a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, haven't got the name up just yet. There we go. 450 LCQ time. They are on the gate. They are revved up, and they are ready to go. 4 to the main. Final time here tonight. The last chance qualifier is off in the 450 class from San Diego.
Let's see. We got a Honda on the inside. See if he can do what everyone else is doing. Hold that inside, but it looks like we're going to have Bob Joe, Jack Daniels.
Evan Holt.
Evan Holt, actually.
Holtzy with the hole shot. those who don't know, the Connect Visual Rider, Holtzy, is behind what you see in the opening ceremonies every week. So we really appreciate Holtzy and all the work that he does. Ripping a holy here tonight. Great to see in the last chance qualifier. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Carson West, Bob Joe, everyone's favorite Bob Joe, is up here. Sonny Spicer in the mix as well. And Chase Blakely, who threw it away in the heat race, is trying to make amends. He dualies over the triple on the first lap. Close-knit quarters between these three riders, battling it out for second place.
Yeah, man, a great start by some of these guys here that had honestly seemed non-existent in the heat races, but then we got Chase B who threw it away, so he's really looking for some redemption after that heat race. Bob Joe fending off an attack on the inside right there, but just trying to lay the hammer down and kind of get yourself separated. That's all what it's about on the first couple laps of an LCQ, is get away, don't crash, and just get some clean air, because everyone starts to spread out a little bit, and you can see just how close these guys are right now. So Bob Joe trying to just kind of train in here right behind Chase B and make some moves. Looks like we got a pretty... They are starting to spread out just a little bit here, but this 450 class, they are so consistent. You just really can't give anyone an inch. And Sonny Spicer actually following him a little bit, showing some great speed. And actually, that's Chase B behind him. So not sure who was up in front of them.
Yeah, I think Blakely got... Well, Ethan Parks is up there. We had a couple other people lose some positions as someone goes flipping in the background. But yeah, Blakely now sitting right behind Sonny Spicer, who is in that final transfer spot. And much more so, I feel like, in this 250 class, the consistency showing through in the 450 class. These guys are, pretty consistent through each section. Look at Blakely, 4-4, and then gets right on top of those whoops as he kind of hops through right there. So interesting to see the line change up. It's not fast. It's not, if Spicer blitzes the whoops lap after lap, Blakely is not going to pass him because of it, but it's consistent, and these guys have crashed a lot in the whoops tonight. So it's interesting to see the dynamic of that consistency versus going for it to get those fast times.
Yeah, so many times in the whoops, especially with these 450s, your speed is so high, you're going to go cartwheeling and you're going to be off the bike. So, 2/10 every lap or 10 seconds every 3 laps.
That's Holtzy. Holtzy, our leader, hung up in the corner, allows Blakely into the final transfer spot. You also have Ethan Parks getting into the picture a little bit back here on the 147. Blakely goes wide. Holt might have an inside move here. Not quite. I thought Blakely might triple in, and he didn't. So Holt is still right there in a battle for the final transfer spot. Blakely trying to hold on to it, and we saw him lose it in the heat race. What do you think, Andrew? Does Blakely hold on to it this time?
There's still more than half this race to go, so I can't easily say yes or no, but I really do like that. Even, honestly, missing that. He's losing some time, losing positions, but he's not down off the bike, and that's all that matters there is he shows that guy a wheel.
Ethan Parks, front wheel tuck.
Yeah, puts him down a little bit, holding on to his position, but Chase B's just riding smart here. Honestly, I do see him going to the main event. He has the speed, and he's got that experience. He's just going to keep himself up there and hopefully not push himself too much, but Holtzy's going to make that difficult for him. If he starts to put together some sprint speed, he's going to make Chase B have to stay close to him. So we'll see what happens here as these guys, we almost got a battle for the lead.
Yeah, we do have a battle for the lead. There's two separate battles going on. Carson West and Bob Joe out front trying to battle for this LCQ victory. Bob Joe, inside move right here, might make this pass as he jumps into the corner, and West is just going to let him have it. That's a smart move right there by Carson West. You do not want to get yourself taken down battling for the lead of the last chance qualifier when at best you guys are all going to be on the outside of the gate anyway. So you just need to make it through in these top 4 positions, and sometimes discretion is the better part of valor in these situations.
Yeah, a lot of times you have a spotter, a teammate there kind of helping you. Chase B kind of ruining that, but look, he's still making it through clean. I like that. Still chasing down Holtzy, but a lot of times you have a spotter that's kind of telling you, hey man, Chase B's diving up the inside, just giving the room, and Holtzy looks like he didn't have that because he kind of seemed surprised there. But if you make one little mistake and you've got room, especially in the LCQ when you're leading, you give up that spot and let it go. So Caden Speck, maybe not back here when you start to get into the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th battle, but any time apart from that, you're going to get it. Caden Speck making a mistake. Holtzy's going down right behind him. And then looks like Yamaha, whoever.
Yeah, that is Caleb Hall jumping over top, and Ethan Parks is still in the mix. So our front 4 are kind of nose to tail, and then you have this 3-rider train right behind them. So if anything gets a little bit wild, there's still a close-knit group, and Blakely is not that far away from Caleb Hall, who finished inside of the top 10 at the opening round in Anaheim. So he has the speed to be a top 10 450 main event guy. The last thing he wants to do is miss a main event here tonight in San Diego. He's got to go through Chase Blakely to do it, or perhaps one of these other guys out front goes down. As Speck goes down, he was in 5th.
Yeah, Speck with a big mistake there in the whoops again. We're seeing crashes all over the place, but look at that. That was someone that jumped in. That was someone that was blitzing almost going down. So these guys are just having so much trouble with these whoops this week. I wanted to mess around on this track a little bit later too, and I'm scared to even get near that whoop section with seeing how much trouble these guys are having. But Bob Joe just kind of cruising around out front here.
Yeah, it looks like he's got it pretty well in control on this last lap. The white flag is out. Carson West in second. Sonny Spicer's made a mistake, but he is in third. Blakely is still back here in fourth, and a bit of a gap back to Caleb Hall behind him. Ethan Parks is still slipping back there. So as long as these guys just keep it on two wheels one more time, it should be good to go. I wonder if Blakely then goes safe and jumps through the whoops. He doesn't want to lose too much time with Caleb Hall closing up, but the last thing you want to do is crash going for it as well. What does he do?
100%. I think he jumps in here. He's got some space. Keep it safe there, and actually still going long there.
Oh, look at this. Caleb Hall's coming in hot. Oh, they're both down. Ethan Parks goes through to make the main event. Unbelievable.
Chase B.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You don't want to take yourself out, too.
Yeah.
Caleb Hall.
I mean, I respect it. Caleb Hall was just huck a buck, couldn't do anything, and I think he was so discombobulated. He's like, I'm just going to go up the inside, try to put myself in front of him.
Wow.
Not as clean as he wanted to do it. I know Chase B is going to be mad about that for a while there, but honestly, I respect the grind after seeing someone stack it in that. Man, and maybe Chase B should have tried to go for the blitz there. You never know. You can't take it back, but, man, congrats to Ethan for capitalizing on that.
Wow. So Blakely goes for the safe line, doesn't get it too clean. Caleb Hall got about as sideways as you can get and still make it through the whoops, then just knifes up the inside and puts them both down. Neither man going to the main event. Instead, Ethan Parks, happy birthday, goes through in P4 to make it tonight in San Diego. And with penalties coming in, that makes it official. Sonny Spicer, Carson West, and Bob Joe also going to the main event. I cannot believe what I just saw. What a wild finish to that LCQ.
Yeah, that was crazy. I like Ethan Park making it through in that San Diego military appreciation gear he's wearing there. Looking great, but man, these races tonight have just not disappointed at all. I mean, they hardly ever do, but LCQ is always, we've had a couple last turn mishaps these last couple weeks. That seems to be kind of the theme of this year. So super excited for both these main events right now, and man, it's just crazy what's been going on lately.
Yeah, main event time, I should say, coming up in San Diego, round 3 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator. 15 minutes plus a single lap going to be on the docket for our competitors in the 250 West Division coming up here as we drop the gate on the third round of their championship. And thankfully, the championship leader made it through. Seth Shirley made it. But we'll see what happens tonight. He's going to have a far outside gate pick, and we have seen that the outside lines do not work too well coming into this first corner. So we're going to have to rely on these heat race winners probably getting good starts in the main event, and we might have yet another first-time winner this year.
Yeah, pretty much every start we've seen tonight has come from an inside gate where they're just kind of hugging in and whether they're doubling in or not, just hugging that inside line there. Really kind of the separator. So I feel like if you're Seth Shirley, you got that red plate. If you start anywhere top 12, shoot, top 15 even, just not go down off the start after making it through the LCQ. That's a win for him, and he's just got to kind of try to put it together there. So really excited to see what's going to happen, and definitely some carnage. But Seth Shirley, I know he just hasn't really looked great at all tonight on this track. Yeah. So I know he's got the red plate. It's hard to say he doesn't have the speed or he doesn't look like he's the best rider out there, but he really doesn't tonight. And I think if I'm Seth and I get a top 10 tonight, I would be happy, after barely making the main.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Holtzy showing up in the chat says that he tried for me. He tried his best to make the main event. Didn't make it tonight, but he did get the whole shot in the LCQ. That's always a little bit of a win.
Respect.
In and of itself. So getting loaded up here. They're going to get the scripts ran to run this 250 West main event, round 3 of this championship. And another thing we're also going to see in this 250 West main event that we haven't seen too much of tonight is how much the track is going to break down. The track resets every single time on a restart, but there isn't a road system in the game. So we're going to see lines developing, the ruts get deeper, and maybe lines change up throughout the main event as well. And we've already seen how inconsistent this 250 class is here tonight. it might make it even more treacherous and tricky for these guys to actually make it through this track lap after lap with these ruts coming into play.
Yeah, maybe besides qualifying, these guys haven't ridden this track more than 6 minutes plus a lap. So it's going to be interesting once we start to get here into the deeper stretches of this main event, how the track starts to form, how that changes the whoops. I'm excited to see what it does to that start corner. Maybe develop a couple more lines when they're hitting that flat corner, multiple ruts for those guys to choose from. But going to see how it shapes up. Those 250s have been struggling with not only the whoops, but that really long rhythm that you see here at the bottom of your screen. Getting that triple in has been really difficult for them. And I think we could definitely see them switching up their lines as the night goes on.
Yeah, I think especially if we see those lines around the outside of the turn get a little bit too choppy and rough for those guys to still triple in, we'll see guys cut down, make a new line, double into a section, and at least it seems like both rhythm sections, or really all three rhythm sections that you can see on the screen here, have options that work if you double in, and it's not that you need to triple in every single time to make something happen. So these 250 guys are going to be liking the ability to have those options tonight, and we'll see how it degrades over the course of the main event. Once we get loaded in, we'll give you guys a lineup check and let you know who is in tonight's 250 West main event from San Diego, round 3 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator. And like we talked about, maybe a new winner tonight. Maybe we have a new red plate holder tonight after this as well. Seth Shirley entered tonight's action only 4 points up on Johnny Padani, but we really haven't seen too much of Padani tonight either. So it has been really up and down, kind of hit and miss out of our championship contenders, which maybe opens up the door for some more guys to get into the fray.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good sign. If you have a bad, maybe start to the season and you see early on coming into round 3, you say, if I get up there, if I get a top 5, I can start closing the gap a lot quicker. It's a lot easier to kind of hype yourself up to make a charge for a championship fight. Try to move yourself up in the standings when the leaders, aren't completely checked out, especially right now when you see people with the red plate, people who are championship favorites coming in and not being as consistent as you think they would like to. Everyone out there kind of feels like they have a chance. They feel like they have a shot. If they get a start, they can ride, and they ride consistent, they can put themselves on the podium, if not that top step, and kind of try to take control of this short 250 East Coast or 250 West Coast championship.
Yeah, short indeed. This is already going to mark the 1/3 mark of this championship after this race tonight. We will be a third of the way through this 250 West championship. All right, lineup check. Real fast, let's run through them. We have got Nico Marchini, Cade Matherly, Tyson Johnson, Frank Jackson, Rogan McIntosh, Bodie Parker, Braden Tharp, Anthony Pachone, Luke Fowler, Austin Schaefer, Tyler Shields, Millie Soderblom, Max Schwalik, Johnny Padani, Hayden Stevenson, Daniel Olson, Seth Shirley, Ryan Pinkerton, Maxime Vanderbeek, Tyler Smith, and Jet Holyhead going to the gate for tonight's 250 West main event. I don't know what's about to happen. I'm not sure anybody on the track is about to know what is going to happen, but we'll see what happens when the gate drops here in just a few moments.
Definitely not. These guys think they know what's going to happen. They think they know what they can do, but once this gate drops, it's going to be some carnage. I'm kind of rooting for our white drizzle, out here. Jet Holyhead, he's fun to watch. He's very, look at him just playing around having fun there. He's very fast, but he's a little wild. So he's actually interesting just to watch and see what can happen. It seems like he has spurts where he just will throw down heaters for like 8-9 laps. And maybe that's a bad thing. He might be a ticking time bomb. It's kind of how I was going to describe him, but it's just those people that are so fast and they do explode every once in a while. It's not kind of like real life where they're going to get hurt, and they're going to be out for the season. These guys, they keep doing it, and they will eventually learn, to limit those mistakes. And when they have the speed and they get rid of those mistakes, that's when they become dangerous. But Chwalik, man, with that fastest qualifier, and he was riding great earlier. There's so many good guys in this 250 class, and I have no idea who's gonna take this one home.
I don't know either, but hey, maybe, just maybe, we get a first-time winner tonight. Would be fun to see that just to happen again. Somebody is going to take this victory tonight from these 22 men in this 250 West division. I'm not too sure what it is that we're waiting on right now. Tyson Johnson needs to fix his name. Is that what we're waiting on? I don't think so.
Let me see that.
The controller?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to give her a go? You want to see what these whoops are like?
Yeah.
Start and select her to go back. So I'm all the way there at the back. All right, now A-Wood's on the sticks. Andrew Wood, former 2013 Southwick winner.
Yes, sir.
So let's see what he can do through these whoops.
You run sticky. It's okay. Later. Yeah.
Not much better.
Hey, calm down. What's your up? Downshift is okay.
Y is up and X is down.
I'm just gonna try to hit him second gear straight up. Oh my God! Already,
Let me
just
try.
a first kicker.
Let me try.
I feel like you got to get some speed and you got to
get on top of him
into that one. I wasn't expecting it to be that
So
big.
I already made a video on this track that's coming out tomorrow morning, and I personally don't remember the whoops being this difficult myself. So I'm a little bit surprised at how challenging they are tonight. But let's see if I can even get going straight, which I can't. So can't even try it. But we'll maybe try it after the 250 main event and see if we can even get through these
It's
whoops.
so weird playing on like a different setup, like especially with your sticky sit down being in a different spot. I'm like scared to touch anything but throttle and brake.
Yeah. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is the third round of the 250 West Championship live here on Start Your Systems. Let's drop the gate tonight in San Diego.
And the gate is down. We got a Yamaha up the inside. Let's see. It's hard to tell. We got the Honda, though.
Vanderbeek goes deep into the first corner. That takes a few guys down. Braden Tharp rips the RaceFactorGaming.com hole shot and gets the triple on off right through the first rhythm section. Already establishes a big lead as we got guys coming the other direction in the rhythm lane. People getting kicked all around on this first lap. It's McIntosh in second. You got Jed Holyhead in third, Chwalik fourth, Tyson Johnson in fifth with Hayden Stevenson also there in the mix. So we're trying to shuffle it around here. Seth Shirley has a good start. He is in seventh for our championship leader. That's good for the red plate holder.
Yeah, it's crazy with that great start, how much you can get clean air. Look at those three right there, so far away. And I looked in the background in the second turn. They were like three wide just going through there.
Oh, Tharp is down with the lead. He saves it. Unbelievable save. McIntosh goes into the race lead. That moves Jet Holyhead up in the second. And once again, this 250 class is giving us a bit of a three-rider train. Let's see if it happens like we saw in that second heat race tonight with these gentlemen this time, as McIntosh leads, Holyhead right behind him, and Tharp in third.
Yeah, these guys just need to separate themselves, kind of calm down. You know, they're all happy they got a great start, but you can see right behind them in that view, there's so many people so close early. McIntosh with a great start, as well as Tharp even. These guys just need to put it together and put the hammer down for a little bit here. Get away from those guys with how inconsistent these 250 guys have been tonight, especially. Being consistent or not even being fast, just staying on the bike is very, very important. And I feel like if you're up here right now, that's going to lead to an easy top five. So put together some laps, make it through the whoops, and stay smooth on the bike out there. Yeah. Don't try to push too hard.
McIntosh already has a little bit of a gap starting to build. Holyhead has not been able to keep it close on this lap, but we're back into the whoops again, and let's see how they do. McIntosh is through clean, as is Holyhead. Tharp got kicked around a little bit. Hey, speaking of fast, our fastest qualifier, Max Chwalik, finds himself in fourth place. So the Phil Ski and Snowboard number 38 rider is going to start closing up on this lead group based on the lap times that we've seen out of him. And this could be a four-rider battle at the front before long.
Yeah, Chwalik right now, you know he's got the speed, putting down that fastest lap time tonight, coming in through the qualifying session. You know, maybe somebody else has found speed right there, but that means he got comfortable on this track quickly enough to throw down a heater. So if he can just pull it together a little bit, start putting together a couple of those, I could definitely see him breaking up this top three. We're actually going to see a lead change right there, I think.
Yeah, I did see a lead change. Jed Holyhead goes to the front.
Drizzle.
And battle for second place is on. Rogan McIntosh's dualies Trileys over the Supercross triple. And this three-rider train at the front has held. So let's see if one of these two gentlemen behind Holyhead can perhaps get back behind him and put the pressure on to make a pass for the race lead. Holyhead kind of bouncing through. These guys all making small mistakes. Nobody seems to be comfortable in the whoops in this 250 class.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. McIntosh, I feel like he always shows up in the main events. Same with Holyhead. These guys are all over the place, you know, in some of their heat races. But when it gets to the main events, these guys just kind of put their head down and kind of get it together. Little mistakes you saw, you know, earlier from Braden Tharp. But, man, these guys are just... Look at them. They're just training right now. And
how about that different line?
There's that quad there. He's not going to go inside, but now he's not going to get the triple in. So let's see if he loses anything in this long rhythm here. Doing the double, triple on. No, he's going to go quad, triple out.
I like it. I mean, if he could have got that quad a little bit cleaner, it didn't seem like he was losing all that much time by the end of the rhythm section. In the end, though, because of those two cases, it allows the 20 machine of Braden Tharp to get right back onto his rear tire. And just like I said, here comes Max Chwalik, the Polish rider on the number 38 ride in the background, has closed this thing up, and we now potentially have a 4-rider battle up front.
Yeah, Tharp's got some great entry speed into the whoop. He's going to lose it a little bit there as McIntosh picks it up. But Chwalik trying to get into this fight just a hair off. But honestly, I kind of like that spot he's in. He's not too close.
Oh, they both go down.
And
Chwalik hits him.
Chwalik gets into them.
Passing, that's Shields, I believe, going up into second place. Tyler Shields takes over second position. Chwalik goes to third. Meanwhile, in the chat room, Travis Marksdog with a $100 donation. You fine like a chocolate strawberry. No Marksdog, youdebomb.com, dude. Thank you so much for the support. Every single time you come on the stream, you always seem to toss a huge number around. So I appreciate that every single time. You are here, and you are here again, good sir. So appreciate that. As we get back into the action, Chwalik is going to go up into second place. And look at this from the LCQ and maybe not making it to a podium right now for Seth Shirley. We talked so much tonight about the potential of a new red plate holder after how rough of a night it's been for Seth Shirley. And he's right in a position where it looks like he's going to hold on to it.
Yeah, able to capitalize on those mistakes by those guys up front. Didn't get off to the best start, but just like I said, kind of if he gets 12th place or better as a start and he slows down there, almost goes down, you just get yourself in the top 15 and start clicking off laps. You're going to make your way up in this field. If you've got that speed that these guys have, you just back it off 10% and just kind of ride around. And he's doing that right now, moved his way up, gonna get on the podium if he keeps it where it's at right now. So now it's his turn to kind of say, okay, I'm back up here, I'm at the front, let me start to throw down some laps because I do not want to lose this red plate. In fact, I want to extend my lead. So let's see what Shirley can do here.
Ooh, another mistake, tripling off the track.
I was gonna say smart, doubling in, but he still goes for the big rhythm. He's got to pull that back and just kind of learn when you need to just double through a rhythm section.
Doesn't look comfortable in any real facet tonight. Yeah, even there, a little bit wobbly on the sticks. And look at Shields up the inside, gets back into third place on the 67 ride. So for a nice move up the inside there for Tyler Shields to go back into third. Crazy battle for third place right now as Rogan McIntosh gets back into the fray as well. These guys going inside before the whoops, trying to get it close. Who gets through the whoops clean is going to make a pass, I think. And around the outside, McIntosh on Shirley. Shirley shuts the door, cuts back up underneath. Doolies over the finish line. As McIntosh square off again. I thought about it, but still has to try to get a good drive to get that triple out of the corner and kind of back into a bit of nose-to-tail action. So let's give you a quick recap real quick so far. Jet Holyhead has taken over the race lead and is leading this thing by about 7 seconds after almost winning in Oakland last week, losing on penalties to reigning 250 West champion Luke Magnetti. If you're just joining us here tonight, Magnetti, the one machine, is not here tonight. He has been having computer issues. It sounds like his computer is going to be needed to be worked on, and so he's not here tonight. And that is basically a mechanical failure causing Luke Magnetti to not only lose this race potentially tonight, but obviously lose chance at winning this championship. And that's unfortunate to see. So Holyhead, with no pressure from Magnetti this week, might have clean sailing to win here tonight, but we'll see if he can hold on as we get into the second half of this thing. Our fastest qualifier tonight, Max Chwalik, runs in second behind him. Rogan McIntosh on the Phil's ride is in third, with Seth Shirley, our championship leader, in fourth. Cade Matherly now rounds out the top 5 on the 25 as he's moved his way forward. Millie Soderblom is in sixth, with Frank Jackson back here in seventh. Maxime Vanderbeek over the line in P8 with Bodie Parker in ninth. And a little bit of battle here for 10th right now. Johnny Padani and Braden Tharp are back here. So this is kind of the first we've seen of Padani in this main event. Our man sitting second in the championship behind Shirley. Not really a great night for him so far tonight, and just able to stay inside of the top 10 for the time being.
Yeah, seeing these guys, obviously it's early in the season, but they're so far back and forth. You just need a guy, if you're going for the title, you just need a guy who can get top 5 every weekend. Padani running second in the championship and getting a little squirrely right there as we're watching him. Jumps back on, loses just one spot, but Seth Shirley and Holyhead are going to start pulling away. You know, you got McIntosh and Vanderbeek behind them in the championship, but Padani's going to drop back a lot, and it's going to start to become a 2-horse race. So McIntosh and Holyhead, you need to start, and Vanderbeek as well, need to just start getting back up there consistently, keeping themselves in the race, because if you let one or two guys get away, it's really, really hard to kind of get back up there.
And all these 250 guys are still hopping through those whoops. It doesn't look like there's just any comfort level whatsoever going on with these guys. But Jed Holyhead is continuing to make it work now as we've crested into the second half of this main event. We're down into the final 6 minutes plus a lap of 250 West main event, round 3 of their championship here tonight in San Diego. And the rider out of Australia on the Covenant machine looks like he is in a position where he can win this thing tonight. And actually lost some time. He had a 10-second advantage. It's only 4 seconds now over McIntosh. So I'm not sure Holyhead maybe went down or had a mistake off screen that we did not see. But McIntosh closing up with a little bit of better lap times of late, making this thing interesting as we get into the final 5 minutes of this.
He's got a very interesting whoop technique there, doing a teeter-totter, but he's tracking straighter than most people are. So interesting to see that. But man, really good for Holyhead here. Kind of mentioned before, I feel like he could be one of the guys that's really interesting, and man, look how deep that rut is getting. These guys, you can start to see him leaning it over and kind of dropping down into the ground there. But McIntosh, he's up there in the championship points, and he's in second right now. So he's trying to get up there and fight back to Holyhead, not let him get too far away. 3 seconds is the gap only, and Matherly following shortly behind. That 1:03.7 last lap definitely hurt him, and a couple mistakes here, but he hasn't had the big get off really that I've noticed so far. So definitely stacking up that rhythm pretty bad.
Just lost a bunch of time.
Actually going to lose the spot.
Yeah, Matherly
up the inside.
Doolies. And
no!
McIntosh goes down. So just when we're talking about him gaining some points, he's going to lose them now because Shirley is back into third place. And I still am so impressed with Seth Shirley if he's able to pull a podium out of this night, as disastrous as it's been. Meanwhile, though, Cade Matherly is having a terrific night so far. Came from way back in his heat race. I believe he finished third in that one. Now running second, 6 seconds off of Jet Holyhead for the lead. I don't think we are yet done for a change in the front here. I think Holyhead still has maybe another crash in him before this is done. We'll have to see, but only 4 minutes of this thing left. It's getting down to crunch time. I don't know who's going to bite first here, but someone is going to make a mistake and change up this top 3, I think.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Matherly for the great ride. Just kind of stayed consistent. Knows he doesn't have the complete speed. Even if you're making mistakes like that, he's still doubling through. He's making it work when your timing's just a little bit off and staying there. Seth Shirley might have the speed, get this pass, but you stay there, you stay up, you stay consistent, and you're going to find yourself in a good spot. Really impressed with the strides that Matherly has made and his improvements on the bike. But Seth Shirley right here really wants to keep that red plate as he moves up into second place. And he's going to go try to hunt down that lead and see if he can close that up a little bit and wait for one mistake from Holyhead. And you got another win, and you're extending your lead over everyone. So honestly, really impressed with Seth Shirley tonight for how bad that we both noticed he looked on the bike. Kind of jittery and just clipping a lot of things, timing really off. Seth Shirley, really impressive tonight with how much he's come back here. But Matherly's definitely not giving up a fight right behind him.
I will say Seth Shirley got through the whoops that time by maybe the best I've seen any 250 rider do it all night. And he's the only person I've actually seen wheelie and kind of tire tap that first one just to put that whoop, or the tire down on the third whoop, I should say. And it worked out perfectly that time. I don't know if he's been able to figure out if that's a consistent thing or not, but man, he made it look really good that time. As Holyhead continues to stretch this gap out, we are down into the final 2.5 minutes now of this thing. I want to see what Holyhead's doing in the whoops, if it's any different. Yeah, look, so he's hitting that first whoop, and now he's kind of hopping. Watch Shirley here. If he still does it, he's going to kind of, like tire tap over that, get on top. I think that's the move that no one's really figured out in this 250 division just yet. And for him, it's kind of worked out in his favor down the closing stages of this to get back in the mix and maybe even win this thing tonight.
Yeah, it kind of got that real life technique, whereas you start to see riders get faster. It's not where you can place your wheel on the first whoop after the starter. It's the second or the third real whoop, that you got there. So you see guys like that using that technique. That just gets you that much more on a flat driving plane over it. And Seth Shirley doing a great job through those whoop section. He looks like he's figured it out. Before, he was just so jittery on the bike, kind of how I used to ride with a really loose setup. I remember I used to get called out being like, oh, he's nervous. No, that's just how I rode, just all over the place. But man, Matherly right here, Shirley didn't even make a mistake, but he's starting to get right back up on, and Matherly's finding some speed as this track starts to erode more, maybe getting a little bit more corner speed. As he comes up, he's going to play nice though. It gets a little drive here. Let's see if he cuts underneath and tries to get a drive next to him in the whoop. He is going to go the inside there, and we got him side by side in the whoop. Seth Shirley been great through it. Matherly a little
hopping.
bad, but stays up at least.
Not quite able to get something done right there. It just comes down to these whoops every single lap for these guys. Pretty much everybody's doing the same exact rhythms everywhere else. Surprised to see everyone still tripling in the second turn. I thought that corner would get a little bit more chewed up, but pretty good so far. Let's see if Holyhead out front is still doing it. Yeah, I mean, that corner's not even that bad, really. It
almost looks like it got better. It starts to get that kind of widey road that just gives them a nice smooth lane, and it's easy to bank off of. Just expecting with how much trouble they were having at the beginning, you know, those heat races, maybe the guys were just nervous, but those guys were super inconsistent on that triple in there. You see that a little bit tighter, it looks like, by the looks of it. But Holyhead, man, just a great ride. I honestly didn't expect this. Called him a ticking time bomb earlier. I'm sorry. I mean,
he hits the pole.
Hit the
Come on,
stick.
the commentator's curse breaks through, and wouldn't you believe it, Seth Shirley is going to go to the race lead with 20 seconds left on the clock. We have got 2 laps to go here in San Diego. If Shirley pulls out a win here tonight after the night he has had, I would be beside myself. Holyhead blows this lead apart with 2 to go, and he's got to try to fight back and get back around Matherly and Shirley to win.
Oh my God, and Matherly's not going to give that up easy. He's been riding great. Holyhead, you know, these guys, they've been running pretty similar pace. It seems like the gaps they had, they were slowly building on. Not one person had blazing speed. So unless Holyhead, like I said, he does have some crazy speed. If he just starts dropping the hammer right now, I can see him, and he's going to miss this rhythm because of that lapper. They're still able to get that triple on and get out. But let's see if he can make a drive at it. We got about a lap and a half to go, and he's just not going for the win anymore, but he does want to chase down Matherly there, even though they are not too far behind their leader.
Holyhead and Shirley both have wins, almost both have wins this year based on what Holyhead did last week, but Cade Matherly has never won a 250 Supercross main event in his life. This is an opportunity for him to try to go after it as the white flag waves. Seth Shirley leads and is trying to pull this thing out of his hat to win tonight here in San Diego, but Matherly is putting everything into it to try to take the win away from him. Lap traffic involved, trying to move out of the way. Matherly's going to get blocked by that lap traffic a little bit as well. This is crunch time. Only half a lap left to go. Can Shirley hold off and win tonight here in San Diego?
Yeah, Seth Shirley definitely trying to put the hammer down and get away. Matherly looks like he was a little bit closer, but he's not going to give up. Matherly has been so impressive as he's been chasing down Shirley. But look at Shirley. He's in championship mode right now. He just wants to get this win. He's had such a rough night, and he has got to be so nervous. All of these guys. Honestly, Cade's probably the most chill out of all of them. Even though he's never gotten a win, he's been in pretty much the same spot. He does have a little pressure from behind, but
yeah,
I don't know. We're
putting that pressure on.
See what happens here in the whoops. We
Final
got
couple
Shirley
corners.
coming through.
Shirley's got to get through it one more time, and he gets on top. He's hopping a little bit, but doesn't get kicked sideways. Unbelievable. After the day he's had, Seth Shirley, his second win of the year, takes it tonight in San Diego. Unbelievable. It's going to be Matherly in second, Holyhead in third. 2/10 separated them at the flag. McIntosh crosses the line in fourth, and Millie Soderblom is trying to hold on for a top 5. I cannot believe Seth Shirley, what did he finish? 16th in his heat. He got third in the LCQ and wins the main event. That is the most unorthodox way to get to the top step of the podium I think I've ever seen.
That's the second time this year, right? Out of 3 races, we've had 2 winners from through the LCQs. Wasn't Magnetti in the LCQ last week? Or
I
no?
don't think so. I think he made it through. I think that was the story, is that he couldn't make it at Anaheim 1 and bounced back huge at Oakland.
Man, these guys just not making it easy for themselves. Honestly, man, look at
Johnny Padani ends up in 9th, so he's going to lose quite a bit of points in this championship fight. Van de Beek in 10th. So again, more championship favorites that were supposed to be ahead of Shirley tonight based on the night he was having, and Shirley pulls this one out of nowhere to win the San Diego Supercross. We do have to wait on penalties. There is only 2 seconds between him and Matherly as they group up after this race. Maybe just broing down a little bit. Not too sure how many of these guys. I remember back in our day, we used to kind of, after the race, hop into another TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever it was.
And start talking smack.
Talk smack. Maybe
about
you'd
the
say
race.
congrats or whatever it is. But I don't know how much these guys do it these days. Maybe these two are yucking it up a little bit, talking about that race. Unbelievable finish to this one. And confirmed, cuts have come in. Seth Shirley, his second win of the year, extends his championship
no, Matherly
lead.
lost second.
Oh, yes, Matherly did lose second. He goes back to third on penalties. Trying to see. I can't see from this far away. How many? 2 seconds of cuts? 25? Wow, 0.62. And he crossed the line 2/10 ahead of the 50 machine of Jet Holyhead. So incredible to lose on 0.62 of cuts, but he goes back to third. So Holyhead gets second on the night. And we got McIntosh fifth for Soderblom, sixth Jackson, seventh was Parker, eighth was Chwalik, and ninth ends up being Vanderbeek as Johnny Padani loses a position on penalties as well. So wow, up and down main event in this 250 class.
You should
crazy to see.
Go try to hit that rut on the start straight. I want to see what that
see.
looks like, if we can see before it resets, if not after the 450 main. But man, look at how great this road has, how far it's come from what it used to be. This is what the guys get to come into and hit, starting from a flat turn where they get to wash it out. And that's treacherous right there. That's not easy to go through. So
you can see me just making a mockery of it.
Nah, it's all right. I mean, it's just crazy that they go from starting off, they're trying not to push their front end. You see so many guys too. A lot of the fast guys we've seen too coming in and pushing their front just a little bit because they might think it's formed a little bit more than it has been. Because every time they come around, it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and it starts off as that completely flat straight. So that's mind blowing to see how big that rut is getting and actually how well it formed.
Absolutely, indeed. No question about it. All right, 450 main event time coming up here tonight in San Diego. Boy, we've had 2 different winners so far on the season, and Seth Shirley becomes the first repeat winner of 2023 after winning the Anaheim opener and following it up with a win here tonight in San Diego. So, SoCal, is there anything to it? Carter wins in Anaheim to start the year. Of course, we'll go up to NorCal, and Payson Johnson takes the win in Oakland. Is this Carter's opportunity to become the first 2-time winner this year, or do we see a third different winner from 3 rounds in this 450 division?
Honestly, even the 450 guys you expect a little bit more stability from, but I mean, after that heat race, Carter definitely is looking good, but man, they were still kind of all over the place. Even though that second heat, they were training together a little bit more. It's hard to bet against Carter. He's got number 1 red plate. He's out there. He's hauling. So it's hard to bet against Braden Carter. I don't think it really matters if it's a SoCal track, but I could see Carter definitely getting the win here tonight, but I would not be surprised if we see a huge mix-up. I actually want to see if someone else can jump up there and kind of get themselves between him, Leclerc, and Payson, besides Tyler Lang and Jeremy Smith. If any one of these guys, other than those top 5, honestly, can get up there and make a statement, it's still so early. If you can drop 20 points in the round, or get yourself 20 points in the round, drop a good finish, it's definitely a huge help at round 3. These guys have 17 rounds to go. It's a lot different than the 250 season. These guys are just going for consistent all the way through, top 5s, top 10s, and put yourself in a good position. You don't have to go out there and win with blazing speed like Payson did last week. Just go out there and see if you can break up that top 5 that's already started.
Yeah, consistency I feel like is going to play a huge factor tonight because of how treacherous the whoops are, because of how tricky it is to get these rhythm sections clean. Perhaps we see a guy like Jeremy Smith, who is a consistent rider and someone who knows how to, handle a lot of different conditions in this game, shine through tonight. He's already won his heat race. He looks solid in that. He wasn't the fastest guy, but he still got the job done. We'll see what happens. It's going to come down to a lot of what happens on this start, because at least we know these 450 guys are a little bit more consistent than their 250 counterparts to get out front and probably stay out front, but we'll see. So Tyler Lane goes to the line with Seth Carr, Luke Sullivan, Jacob Hubbard, Braden Carter, Alec Horn, Devin Davis, Sonny Spicer, Payson Johnson, Noah McLaughlin, Braden Castellaneta, Carson West, Colby Eaglin, Nathan Prid, Adam Holm, Bob Joe, Connor Holiak, Dakota French, Pablo Vial, Jeremy Smith, Ethan Parks, and Alexis Leclerc. Did I miss Carter somewhere in here? No, there he is. Okay. So there is Braden Carter, the championship leader for just the time being. A 1-point advantage on Alexis Leclerc, a 4-point advantage on Payson Johnson, but we are still so early in this championship. A lot of stuff can change, and it might just change up here tonight at this 3rd round in San Diego. You are watching the 3rd round of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship live on Start Your Systems, Init Esports on Twitch, and ESTV from San Diego. All right, folks, it is time for the third round of this championship. 20 minutes plus a lap on the gate and ready to go. We'll get that timer up for you guys. Get back in the server. See who's going to get that all-important hole shot. 30 card goes sideways. The revs come up. Let's go racing round 3 in San Diego.
See, no jumps really stand out to me. Braden Carter, though, is on that inside. Jeremy Smith has a good start, too, but it looks like Braden's going to
gets to the corner first.
Hubbard, though,
Leclerc goes deep, and it's Braden Carter with the RaceFactorGaming.com hole shot award. His teammate Hubbard to the outside. Kind of blows the rhythm section. Jeremy Smith is going to jump in third. It looks like Leclerc got through clean. He's in fourth back there, but Carter out front. Well, in his heat race, it didn't work out. He blew it and handed it over to Jeremy Smith. Can he get away this time, or will somebody else get up there and mix it up with the number 1 machine? His teammates there. You got Jeremy Smith with a good start again. Leclerc, Eaglin's up front. Where is Payson Johnson? I don't see another KTM. Maybe Johnson about 9th right now. If that is him back there, this is a bit of a freight train early on, as we see. Is that laying there as well behind Alec Horn, who's in 6th? So we got some heavy hitters up front. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, man, Braden starts are dialed tonight as we see Eaglin still fighting off. But look at the names up here in this top 5 right now. It's just insane. I was going to say, if Braden doesn't get a good start and isn't the guy to win it, I definitely feel like it could be one of these veteran guys with how we've seen the whoops shaping up. And you've got a lot of them up here. I mean, Leclerc himself, but Jeremy Smith as well, having a great start there, holding him off. And Jeremy Smith's speed is what's really shocking me. I haven't seen speed like this from him in many, many years. So to see him just get off to great starts, man, this 450 class is so good right now. And this year I feel like it's some of the best it's ever been, the level that these guys are at. Holding on to a good third place start here. And Leclerc trying to make some early moves, but
thought he might think of move down the inside. It looked like he was thinking at least. But back to our race leader. It is Braden Carter on the Phil Ski and Snowboard number 1 machine. His teammate Jacob Hubbard right behind him. Flashing back to Anaheim 2 weeks ago. As you can see back in the background there, Hubbard was jumping through the whoops already. So we're starting to see it change up a little bit as Leclerc made a run at Smith in the whoops, but didn't quite get it done. Just wanted to say, though, that Hubbard and Carter did start out front back in Anaheim as well. And it kind of unfolded a little bit before Carter got the lead back. So we'll see whether or not they can kind of run away with each other, use it as a little bit of a training day. As Leclerc almost gets into the back of Smith, I think he's not going to wait too much longer. He's going for the pass.
Yeah, Smith made that little bobble exiting that rut there, and he knew that he had to give it up right there. He's actually going to almost lose another spot there. Man, these guys are riding so close, and you can just tell they have such good racecraft, looking around and knowing what the other guy's going to do. But Leclerc misses the quad, and Smith is going to move back up into 3rd place. But Leclerc,
and then Smith runs into the tough block, so Leclerc gets back by. And I think that was Eaglin crashing back there. Smith cases the triple out. Hubbard is back here as well, too. So that is actually Leclerc going all the way up into 2nd place now, as it's Carter, Leclerc 1-2, Smith 3rd, with Nathan Print up here on the TSCZ Productions ride, going down the inside, trying to pass into 3rd place.
Yeah, Print has some speed. He's going to get a drive. Look at that bar-to-bar through the whoops, and Print is barely going to get past him. But look at that. We're having Hubbard come up the inside, trying to make a 2-for pass, but he's right there, and he's going to look for any little mistake these guys can do to get up there and keep moving his way forward. Hubbard is no slouch, and he knows he's going to try to start working his way up through these guys. But Print holding on for now as he's starting to pull away a little bit from Smith.
Man, I tell you. Oh, who's that down? That is Leclerc down. Yeah. So I was trying to see if it was red plates. It is not. It is Alexis Leclerc down out of 2nd place. I was going to say there for a second, though, that Jeremy Smith and Nathan Prinn were literally rubbing number plates next to each other in the whoop section. I don't know how neither of them went down as they got so close together. Oh, and Hubbard gets sideways in front of Leclerc, takes him down, going down as well as the 12 of Castellaneta. So that is 3 teammates getting together as Leclerc has transferred over this Phil Ski and Snowboard team, and it has gone from bad to worse for the 7 machine as he falls back to, I believe this is 9th spot now for him. Rough go for the 7 who was up front early on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the downside of having half the team on the track is part of your team. One of them goes down, then you got 3 of your own guys going down at the same time. But Braden Carter, man, look at how far ahead he is right now. Looking behind him, he's about 10 seconds in front of the next rider. He's almost done with the rhythm, and they were still coming out of the rut on the start.
Oh, Carter's down now.
As I talk about him, he makes
out of the
mistake.
lead. This is going to be Nathan Prinn perhaps going to the front here. The Frenchman on the number 22 TSCZ Productions ride does take it over in San Diego.
Oh, no.
Momentarily, though, as he misses the rhythm section, Carter back alongside of him on the outside, triples in. Let's see if he gets it back. Not quite.
Man, Braden Carter, untimely mistake, but then Prin stacking that rhythm section just at the right time when he was making the pass. Let's see what can happen. We know Nathan Prin has insane speed out here, and he's definitely capable of winning. But Braden Carter, man, he's just on another level right now. He's going to go inside. He's got an insane drive through these whoops, and he's going to do it. He's going to go up the inside. His suspension is working flawlessly. I don't understand how he is hitting the whoops so clean. He is back to the lead, and he's got to try to stretch it out again. He had almost a 10-second lead before, and he's going to try to pull it back out to another one.
We'll see if he can do it, but he's lost the front wheel, and going wide there is Nathan Prin as well. So Smith back into second place, and suddenly Colby Eaglin's knocking on the door of opportunity. He is back here again. I will say, still have not seen Payson Johnson. Not sure where the 51 machine is. Trying to get an eye on him as he comes through in the running order this time by. Not inside of the top 10 is last week's winner, so a rough go right now for the 51 machine as this battle up front continues to ensue. Where the heck is Payson Johnson right now? 17th place for the 51. Not what he wanted to see here tonight at all.
Yeah, but man, it's just a great start here by these guys. I'm really blown away by Prin and what he's doing right now. I feel like he hasn't been up here that much this year so far. And to see him, I didn't even really see him all day. I know we mentioned him earlier about not having skins as he's going to go down again as I'm talking about him, but doesn't fall all the way off the bike. But he just had such a quiet night, and then to come out here and just put it all together. We've been talking about Smith and Carter and Eaglin for so long, but Prin is really surprising me, and I hope he can hold on and keep this top 10 and keep fighting back for this podium. But as of right now, Eaglin is now got his sights set on the second place. He's going to try to make a move up here and just put laps down. But, man, these guys are starting to get a gap, too. You can't even see who's behind them. So we've lost Leclerc way far back now. And all these other guys that we've been talking about, they're almost non-existent in this fight. It's just kind of this top four.
I will say, I believe the reason I don't have Nathan Prin's skins right now is because he was using EU skins. He's number 30 in EU for Race Factory Gaming. But he is number 22 in NA. I don't think he was expecting to race NA that much, but his start to 2023 has been so good that he just decided, I think, to keep going for it. They may have made new skins and maybe released it a little bit late here today, so I haven't quite got him. I apologize for that, but Prin on the 22 machine looking really solid here tonight. Back to the lead right now, though, 7 minutes in. We still have 13 minutes plus a lap to go, and the championship leader, the defending two-time champion, Braden Carter on the field ski and snowboard machine, leading the race here right now in San Diego. Jeremy Smith still running in second place, but I feel like we're about to have a battle between the Heckman Productions SYS Racing number 4 of Smith and the District Designs number 24 of Colby Eaglin, along with the 22 TSCZ Productions ride of Nathan Prin. This is a great little fight here as they battle it out for second place.
Yeah, it's starting to tighten up a little bit. I did want to go back and check. The chat has pointed out, if you look at the top of your screen as it's going to scroll by, Payson Johnson was in 15th. Looks like he's dropped back even more. Now back into 15th. So your last week's winner, 15th. But now look at this. We're going 3 wide into the whoops.
Prin down the inside trying to get both of them as Eaglin got around Smith. Smith a little bit flustered at the moment, falls back behind Prin. So Eaglin up into second place. Prin now jumping around the outside, retains third place as he goes over the finish line jump. So we have 4 seconds separating Eaglin and race leader Braden Carter. Prin is pushing hard through that rut as Smith falls back behind these guys. Pablo Vial has moved into the top 5 on the Impact 27, and Alexis Leclerc is right behind him. French invasion tonight in San Diego. Prin, Vial, Leclerc all up in the top 6. Noah McLaughlin with a tremendous ride right now in 7th, and Vial is down, so McLaughlin is going to go by. And that is Adam Holm going by as well, up into 7th now. Vial remounts in P8 by the looks of it. Cheeky little quad mid rhythm as Luke Sullivan falls back to 9th, and Hubbard is now in 10th. Let's go all the way back and find where Johnson is. He is behind Tyler Lang. So our 2 1-2 finishers last week in Oakland are now 12th and 13th place on the track in San Diego. We still have half of this main event to go, but they're going to need some help, I think, from some of the guys in front of them, perhaps going down to change the status quo of this main event for them.
That 59.9 last lap, his best lap around. I'm interested to see what the leaders are running. Maybe we can check that when we're done checking out Payson here. But Payson, I would describe, honestly, I always have the same way I kind of mentioned about Holyhead earlier, like ticking time bomb. He's so insanely fast. but he just kind of grenades himself, and he's been not having a great race. Like, you got to see that guy getting up and slow down a little bit too. Maybe he just doesn't have the mental like race awareness, I guess. I feel like he's been that way for a couple years. You feel like he is starting to learn a little bit, getting wins here and there, but man, he looks super twitchy right now too. He doesn't look super comfortable, but he's just insanely fast. But that's not a good combination when any time he can just kind of explode.
Another thing to talk about with Johnson, if any of you guys at home are watching this, be sure to check out his YouTube channel just for the fact that he uploads his full race onboard footage, I guess is what you would call it, from each main event, where you get to hear him talk and get to hear him be spotted on by his teammates and stuff like that, help him try to get through the main event. So even last week at Oakland, you get to see the full 20 minutes of what it's like to lead, what's going through his head, what he's saying, what he's thinking and stuff like that. And you're right, Andrew, sometimes it does seem like he's a little bit thinking about, not so much what is going on around him on the track, but more about, just go as fast as I possibly can and try to get to the front. And sometimes that can be a detriment when you're trying to go forward from a bad position like this.
Yeah, Payson, when he came on the scene initially, that's kind of what stood out to me before was he had...
Oh, down again.
And just there's
Front
that
end
pushing a little bit too hard. That rut is going to get deep, and it's really difficult, but we're only at lap 11 right now. That's only half as bad as it's going to get. So maybe he was expecting it to be a little bit deeper, came in that little bit harder, but yeah, he just always is go, 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 go ever since when he first started riding 250s even. He's just kind of been all over the place, where some people, they kind of get the speed slower, but they also get that race experience. So I don't know, he's just always kind of been that way, but it works out for him. He's definitely one of the fastest guys in sim right now. Hey, I would put him on the level as Braden and Leclerc.
Yeah, don't look now. We have a battle brewing for the race lead, and it's going to get even closer now that he made a mistake. Braden Carter has Nathan Prin breathing down his neck, and Prin has brought Colby Eaglin with him, so 3 riders out front right now at the 12-minute mark, set to battle it out for the race win, perhaps. I think Jeremy Smith is still lurking back there about 10 seconds down, but it's really these 3 gentlemen up front right now. Prin made a small mistake, allowed a bit of a gap to get established. Carter has just been putting in the laps, but I think he must have made a mistake, because it seems weird that he's gone from a 5-second lead to a 1-second lead without a little bit of help getting there. We'll see if he can regroup right now and try to pull back away. Looks good in those whoops, except for those last 3. Got a little sideways. Nice job corralling it together.
Yeah, man, Carter's just doing great right now, and must have been a little off-track excursion or a tip over or something, but you can already visibly see the gap starting to get a little bit bigger. We are starting to get more into lap traffic, though, but through that rut, all these guys looking smooth. These guys just, when they're up here at this level, they will make mistakes, obviously, and crash from time to time, but they just look so much better than the average guy. If we go back to even, just outside 10th place, you're going to see these guys start to be missing their timing a lot more. Braden just looks like a robot out there sometimes, and it's just insane to watch when he's on it and he's just out here. Look at that, how far he's already pulling away. I know you got lappers there, but there's another 3 or 4 second gap he's starting to get.
Well, Prin's still just right there. He's 1.3 back. He was kind of weaving through those lappers just as well, and it's kind of coming down to these 2 a little bit. You can still see Eaglin lurking in the background behind those lappers. Oh, Prin got real sideways and just corralled it back together at the end of the whoops. A nice save by the Frenchman, but he has kept Carter honest over these last few laps as they're weaving through this lap traffic. Pretty impressive stuff. I think Prin might be still in it with a shot to win. Look at how good he gets through that rut right there. Impressive stuff from the Frenchman.
Look at that. He's just ripping these ruts right now.
Carter makes a mistake and Prin goes to the lead. Unbelievable scenes here as Nathan Prin takes over the lead in San Diego. He's looking for his first career 450 main event win.
Carter
just makes another mistake, though, and Carter back around the outside gets it back.
Wow, both of these guys making small mistakes in those back-to-back rhythms that are throwing it off. These guys just have insane drive. Oh
Carter
my God.
Slides around the corner. Over the triple they go. Prin looked like he was playing it safe, not trying to throw a whip, and just gets in right behind Carter. Who goes with the inside versus outside here? Prin outside, Carter inside. What works out better?
Man, he knew he was going to go inside there, so he was able to charge to the outside. Look at Prin with that drive. Going to stay pretty much even there.
Oh, sliding into the corner, too.
Pushing the edge of traction. Got those Pirellis on, just slipping and sliding out there. But Nathan Prin, man, I honestly feel like he has seen a crack in Braden Carter's armor, and he knows
Look
he's
at
got
how
the
good
speed.
Prin gets through that corner.
That's insane, dude. When you could see it visibly, that is nuts. Prin right here. See if he can do the same thing. Carter going to cut down, stay away from that rut. They're both going to get the triple quad single. And let's see what happens here in this long rhythm, man. These guys are looking for every little mistake here.
Oh, Prin made a mistake and doesn't get the rhythm clean.
This time.
So they've each made small mistakes, and Eagland is right there. Look at the 24 machine close right back into this battle once again, and suddenly Prin, who was battling for the lead, suddenly has to go defensive because he's got the 24 machine breathing down his neck again. This is just so wild this deep into the main event that these guys are all still this close. 5 minutes left, and it's anybody's race among these three.
Yeah, Eagland is kind of chilling. He's starting to get like back to the wily veteran, I feel like. Not always the insane speed, but he's been in this class a couple years now, and he's starting to show some great consistency here. And you kind of see it. The leaders start to make mistakes, and it's like, boom, Eagland's right there. He hasn't left. He's been in third the whole time, just maybe not up as far as you guys have been. But, man, he's having a great ride tonight here in this yo-yo battle of Prin, you know, in first and third, and what's going to happen. Let's look at some lap times here. We got Prin 1.7 seconds behind. He had a 102 last lap with a best of 1 minute.
Carter made a mistake, and Prin jumped on his back. How did they not go down?
No
How
way.
the heck did neither of them go down?
And there's
Eagland jumps by into second place. I have no idea how that collision happens and neither of them fall off the bike. That is an incredible save by Prin. Incredible that Carter doesn't get French lag punted into the dirt. I just don't know what the heck.
I think that's what saved him. I feel like if it was another SoCal guy, it would know a lot more that you just got landed on because you didn't triple in. And that kind of saved him a little bit. Sometimes the lag bubble can't help. But Prin, look at that. Trying to get it. He gets a good drive and then he loses it a couple, like 3 or 4 or 5 whoops in.
Well, you know what? We're coming up to his favorite rut on this start straight, and he's going to get
God.
right behind Eagland again. I don't think Carter has got any sort of breathing room at this point in time. I know he has about a second gap. Look at Prin. Oh, he blows the rut this time. So he does not get it clean, and that opens the gap back up. So suddenly, Eagland is the one who can challenge Carter. I did want to head back real quick. Leclerc has moved up to 4th. He's gone around Jeremy Smith. But this is the story. Payson Johnson is into 7th. He's trying to go into, I think, the top 5 right here. That is now into, 6th place, as Johnson is absolutely ripping right now. 1 flat .3, 59.2 his best lap, and he's only 1.5 seconds behind a top 5 result. Incredible charge back here for Payson Johnson.
Yeah, look at him though, man. He's getting so he's so squiddly, but clearly he made it from, he was in like 18th the first time I saw his name scroll around. Now he's coming in 6th place, about to try to make a pass on our teammate here, Jeremy Smith. Let's see what he does, man. He's just running insane lap times. He's got that insane speed, but can he hold on? He's got 2.5 minutes plus a lap. There's Smith making a mistake. He's going to go triple right there. And if he goes up the inside, he cuts under and
Jeremy Smith, come on. You're better than that.
Sometimes, though, you don't want to whip into someone, so I get it. He's got the skill. He's got the steez. But Payson Johnson, man, I just don't know how long can he hold on with as the track's breaking down. This insane speed. Doesn't get the curse that time, but Payson Johnson, man, he wants it.
Look at he's feeling frisky.
He's bar humping. He's saying what's up. He knows he almost just died. He knows he's on stream. He's
in the top 5. Unbelievable charge back though.
Nathan
back to Prin. Made a mistake, so he has lost touch with these guys. And Carter has a gap established again. He has about 3 seconds. Back to Eagland behind him. Let's see if he can hold this down in the final 2 minutes and a lap left of this race. Eagland has been so close, and now Eagland's down in the whoops as well. So Eagland has lost touch with Carter as well. Prin, I think that is right there, is going to go by down the inside to move back into 2nd place. And now it is really Carter's to lose because neither Prin nor Eagland are close anymore.
Wow, Carter is just so completely checked out right now. And Eagland had been my little consistency guy there. I was praising him, but man, everyone just, this track is starting to get broken up. You see 2 ruts coming out of that corner there. It's really just starting to get messy here. I wonder what those whoops feel like too. It's kind of insane right now watching these guys. Payson with another 59.3, so he dropped again, probably the first and second fastest laps of the race. If not, he's probably got the top 5 right now. His speed is nuts, but look, he's getting in the bales. He's pushing, man. He is on the edge of his limit. And will it come to bite him? He's got 1 minute now. Plus
how does he still triple in there? He cross-threaded to come out of the corner. I don't know how the heck he got the pop to do that. He's got 6 seconds to make up on Leclerc, and it's coming down by the buckets at this point in time. He's got to ride her down. He's got to avoid right there. Lap traffic getting out of the way. Leclerc is in some lap traffic right now. as I look at the track map, but I'm not sure. He's kind of in between a couple guys.
So Payson is close to Leclerc, and Leclerc is only 1.5 seconds back. So
yeah, that's Eagland right in front of Leclerc now. So another mistake out of the 24 has allowed Leclerc to knock on the door for a podium here late in this main event.
Yeah, and so Leclerc is gaining a gap right here. Eagland been making a couple mistakes. He was probably in a flow and just got thrown off it, right? So Leclerc right now just under a second and a half, and Payson Johnson breathing down their neck. Podium is not out of the question for any of these guys. You've got Leclerc. Look at him. He's just already through that one corner. Now he's down to 0.6 seconds, 0.8. It's rubber banding, yo-yoing, but man, Leclerc is, it's scary to have Leclerc right behind you. And Leclerc still getting that triple in from that cut down line there. So really interesting to see how some of these guys are avoiding the road, and some of these guys are just kind of settling into it. But man, no one has anything for Braden Carter tonight, and he's just put down a clinic and showing us why he's got that number 1 plate and the red plate. So we continue to watch Leclerc try to chase down Colby Eagland here.
Yeah, Carter has just taken the white flag out front. So the number 1 machine looking to be the first 2-time winner in 2023 in this 450 division, matching what Seth Shirley just accomplished a few moments ago in the 250 class. He's got a 17-second advantage. This thing looks pretty sewed up. So we'll go back to this battle for third as it continues to rage on. Eagland versus Leclerc. Who is going to get the better of this one to land on the box here tonight? And Payson Johnson has lost touch with them a little bit. I don't actually see him back there. I think maybe Jeremy Smith has gotten around him.
Yeah, there he is, way in the back.
Well, no, I think he's still ahead of Smith, but it's close. We'll have to see what happens, though. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty for these two. Meanwhile, up front, one more straightaway to go. Well, he got the start he wanted. It was a little bit rough around the edges in the actual race, but he comes through in the end. Braden Carter, your first 2-time winner in 2023.
So they're putting that red plate on top with an 18-second lead over second place. Nathan Prynne trying to hold on to it. Look at the Frenchies right now. 2 of them in the top 4.
Look
but
at this lap
God,
traffic.
I would be freaking out right now.
Prynne trying to hold on for second, and he's going to get it.
Colby Eagland, there's Leclerc.
Eagland gets through cleaning up. Leclerc went for the send, but it's going to be Eagland on the box tonight, just edging out Leclerc by a second in the end. And it is Johnson who is still in 5th place. I thought maybe Smith had gotten around him, but he did not. So Johnson with a tremendous comeback salvages some good championship points to round out the top 5. Jeremy Smith ends up 6th in this one. McLaughlin in 7th, just ahead of Castellaneta. All these guys, we didn't get much love on the stream tonight, but they have ridden great tonight as Castellaneta goes in heavy for the pass.
Oh no, is he going to lose it to T-Lane and Hubbard?
Oh, Hubbard and T-Lane coming in.
Hubbard
gets by. T-Lane hits him. They both get together. And Castellaneta crosses in 9th. T-Lane in 10th. Luke Sullivan was a lap down in 11th as cuts have come in. Let's see if the top 10 is affected whatsoever. No, everybody stays the same. So behind them, in 11th, there was Sullivan, Dakota French, Adam Holm, Connor Holiak, Pablo Vial, Ethan Parks, Alec Horn, Devin Davis, Bob Joe, Sonny Spicer, Carson West, and Seth Carr. That has been round 3 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator. A wild night from San Diego, and we have two two-time winners on the season now, as Seth Shirley and Braden Carter both repeat their feats from Anaheim 2 weeks ago to get on top of the box here tonight in San Diego. Back now, coming in studio with you guys, Andrew Wood and Kellen Brower, bringing you guys the action tonight. Great to have Jason Wygant and his son Lane Wygant on the broadcast here tonight with us as well. That was a lot of fun to see them try hard to the game a little bit, see how they could do. But we also had a great night of racing. Boy, what a fun night. And the red plate holders, somehow Seth Shirley gets a win. Braden Carter prevails as well. And those plates stay red heading into Anaheim 2 next week.
Dude, I don't believe it. Like, we were talking, we're like, okay, the first 2 races have been so crazy. There's got to be a new winner. It's got to switch up a little bit. These points are going to keep switching up. And both classes, through so much adversity. I mean, Braden Carter had amazing starts all night. That inside line, hugging it perfectly. 2 hole shots on the night. Basically perfect night for him. And then Seth Shirley, man, a rough night and able to bring it back. Like, these guys are in trouble. If they can have a bad night like that, like Seth Shirley in the 250 class, and still bring it back and take a win, it's just crazy. And that's why it's never a dull moment here commentating these races with you. So I love it every time, no matter what we think is going to happen. It's always a crazy ending. So thank you for letting me be here with you. And I'm really glad I got to do it, and can't wait for next week.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun next week in Anaheim too. Be sure to be there, guys. Same time, same place for round 4 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship. That is San Diego done and dusted. One final shout out again, of course, to Init Esports and Race Factor Gaming for putting on this series, and the Race Factor Gaming track crew as well for putting together another great track. Even though those whoops are tricky, they provided some fireworks tonight for us for sure. One final shout out as well to, of course, MotoOption Clothing, Underground RC, Phil Ski and Snowboard, and Race Tech Suspension for all the support, as well as you fine folks at home. Thank you guys for the donations and everybody that tunes in live every week. We had so many live viewers again here this week, and you guys just keep coming and supporting, so we greatly appreciate it, and we appreciate the heck out of you guys for tuning in. So thanks so much for tuning in. This is San Diego done and dusted in MX Simulator, and we'll be back next week where we'll see you guys in Anaheim 2 for round 4 of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross. All right, guys, so long for now, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.